Yes, everybody, you know what time it is. It's your boys Jack and Jacob here. Maybe a Dermatron could be joining us at a certain stage. My apologies. Huge technical difficulties. Pretty much my Mac decided to just take over and, keep me hostage outside. And I never could get inside of it. And now I had to sort of set up this stream, sort of last minute, put it together all sort of last minute and together. But Jacob has been waiting very patiently. I imagine you guys have been waiting very patiently. And I really do appreciate you all still tuning into this watch along. Jacob, how are you keeping, my friend? Before I quickly get to the chat, and before we, get this game started, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. A little upset. Any of our American brothers, they know why. Spurs playing a funky game with the Americans today. I don't know why, but luckily we've sorted it. But man, what a good morning. Spurs, you wake up. There's a Spurs match. Can't help but be in a good mood, my friend.
Can't help but be in a good mood. I'm sort of in a bit of a panic mood, but I decided to, sort of calm down now. I've decided, at the end of the day, it's only a friendly against Barcelona. Spurs have even decided, I guess, to have their own sort of kind of technical howlers, like you said, and decide not to allow the Yanks any sort of access to this one. But plenty of people still in the house, though, that have decided to join us. We do really appreciate you. It is going to be an interesting lineup that you do see on screen here. And we have Vicario in goals, Pedro Porro at right back, Eric Dyer captaining the side. So if you do have a bucket maybe to the side, now is the time. You have Sanchez starting at right side at center back. You have Region at left back, Skippy holding it down in midfield with Basuma and Lo Celso. Solomon, who's, I think Jacob said, the new Hill Messi in the
Hmm.
side at left wing. Richarlison up top with a bit of Perisic too. Maybe Perisic could be playing on the left and Solomon could be getting another option on the right. We're going to Dark Sun G with that one straight away with a super chat. He says, "Come on, you Spurs, let's go, Richie and Solomon." And is Dyer captain? It is sadly not a typo there, Dark Sun G. Jacob, I know you've tried to schedule many a fights
Yeah.
with Mr. Eric Dyer. He's
Hmm.
decided to, or I guess not him, but I mean, and just given him the captaincy today. I'll be honest though, I don't know if I see a lot of love between Ange Postecoglou and Eric Dyer yet. The fact that he hasn't really played really at all until this
Hmm.
point, to me, suggests that maybe Ange doesn't see much of a future with Eric Dyer, and he's just probably, just keeping him around until he has to go on a free or whatever. I don't know. It's just what are you getting from Ange? Giving him the captaincy here, and also looks like Dark Sun G is a big Solomon fan, like yourself.
Big up, Dark Sun G. For me, the whole Eric Dyer thing, it's a bit of a mystery to me. I don't understand it. I'm kind of a little worried about it, but I think we all kind of suspected Eric Dyer wasn't going anywhere this season. Neither was Ben Davies. And honestly, if I had to keep one of the two, I'd probably say Ben Davies. But Eric Dyer, getting the captaincy, I think is what a little bit worries me. But again, if you look at the squad, who are we going to give that captaincy to? If it's not, I mean, obviously he has some kind of, I don't want to say it, but he's got the senior status, right, of players on the squad. So I'm a little upset about that, if I'm honest. But the fact that he wasn't featured at all last match, but you know, this 11, it's never good when you see that C next to Dyer. It's
No,
never a
it's
good
never
sign.
never a good sign ever.
But
Um, yeah, yeah. What were we about to say
I
there?
was just gonna say, you wake up, you're excited. You wake up thinking, "All right, it's game day. Like, what are we gonna see?" I saw, Sonny traveled, Basuma traveled. I guess Perisic is back. I haven't seen him in a while. I didn't even know he still played for us. But there's some names to look at if we try to not focus on Dyer and Sanchez. But maybe this is kind of like a last hurrah for the players. Like you go out there and prove
Mm.
to Ainge that you deserve to start. I think this raises an interesting question. If this is, in fact, like, let's say our B team outside of Vicario, I mean, are we saying Basuma is now Hoybier's backup? Is that what Ainge is thinking?
I don't know what I can really read into this team, to be honest, because, like I said, Eric Dyer's been given some minutes here. It really looks like he's not been given much love or really much attention by Postecoglou. Sanchez is being given minutes. We know he's pretty much been shown the door. I'm pretty sure you also have as well players like maybe Region who've had some links, away. You two also have, I think, some players on the bench. Maybe I think Jed Spence is featured now on the bench in this one. There he is. Yeah, I'm seeing a Jed Spence there in the bench
Oh, he's on the
scattered in
bench.
there. So I'm sort of thinking like some of the guys in here might just be being given minutes because it could be some of their last minutes at the club, maybe some of their last minutes for a long time until maybe it's the cup or something like that. That could be the case with Eric Dyer. I'm assuming he's probably not going to be given too many minutes. I'm hoping this season. I don't know how much I really read into this starting 11 here. I don't really feel like it's all that much of a reflection of what we will see against Brentford. I think Basuma will be in that starting lineup against Brentford. But apart from Vicario too, I don't really see many other guys in there that I actually expect to start in that game against Brentford, to be honest, Jacob. I feel like Emerson would start
Mhm.
above Poro. I see Van de Ven and Romero hopefully, starting together. I probably will see Udoji at left back. We'll probably see maybe a Hoiberg, maybe Basuma combination of some kind, or maybe a Lo Celso, Basuma, and Madison combination. And then it could be Sonny, Kulusevski, Kane. It's kind of the same old. That's what I see. So this might not be a total reflection of what we'll come up against on Sunday. Um, Rafinha holding babies, always very nice to see. Barcelona, any love, any hate towards them? I kind of, have a bit of hatred towards them, I must be honest. I kind of take a few digs at them, Jacob. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself. I heard my son screaming in the other room, so I muted myself, and I didn't unmute myself. My feelings about Barcelona are this: I don't really care. I kind of upset that Adama Traore was going to come here, and then he chose Barcelona over us. So I don't like him because of that personally. But if I put that bias aside, I like Rafinha. I'm a fan of Rafinha. It's interesting to watch these two youngsters, Pedri and Gavi, for Barcelona. Frankie De Jong's been rumored linked away. I mean, it's a top quality side. They just won La Liga, so you got to imagine this is going to be at least a decent test. I do not like seeing Eric Dyer hands on hips already. He's breathing hard in Catalonia or Catalona.
Catalonia, yeah, I believe. He's already
Uh,
breathing too hard.
I'm watching him and I'm just getting mad, and I don't like this. I don't. Let's go, Eric Dyer. Come on, you Spurs. I'm trying to get my mind right here, but when I see him, it just immediately makes me not feel good inside, Jack. I got to be honest. But my feelings about back to my feelings about Barcelona. Um, I don't hate them. I don't really care. It's the La Liga team that is not necessarily our rival. Didn't we stomp them last time we played them in Europe anyway?
I feel like the last time we played them was when we ended up, yeah, with some silky goals with Deli Ali, some silky goals with Lucas, if
Kane.
I'm not mistaken. Like yeah, Kane as well too. Yeah, that's the last time I remember playing against them.
Hmm. It'll be interesting. Beautiful looking little stadium. It kind of reminds me of the LA Coliseum Stadium. If you've ever been there, Jack, that clock there at the end kind of looked like that.
Yeah, it kind of looks like whatever the one they do for the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's
What's
like the
that?
old LA
Pasadena.
Coliseum. They did the Pasadena.
Only the Yanks would know. Any Yanks listening really would only understand this reference unless you're a college
Hey, we
football
kicked.
man. There we are. We've kicked off here, everybody. If you do want to sync up with us, certainly can. And Sanchez at left-sided center back, never a good sign. I must be
No,
honest. Why can't Dyer play left-sided center back? Why can't he even? Is he just not?
where's Joe Roden? He didn't even
Is
make
he
a
just
bench
protecting?
appearance.
Is he protecting himself too much here, Dyer? Is he just like just trying to make the best impression possible? So he just said, no, 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 I'm taking right-side center back. He's probably called dibs on it.
Yeah, he said, "This
Nice
is
little
where I'm
pass
watching."
from Basuma.
Oh, come on, Perisic.
But big up
Like a little
earlier, I believe
disrespectful
someone
stuff.
became a Flat Cat member, if I'm not mistaken. Big up to Iceman becoming a Flat Cat member. You're welcome to join into the Fantasy League, Iceman. Big up to you, my friend. Really do appreciate you tuning into this watch along and supporting the channel. I apologize. It's not to the same sort of timing, standard, efficiency, all that sort of stuff that you're usually associated with. Jacob has plenty of you as well. Have all been very, very patient with me today, and I do really appreciate it, you guys. Smash the like button if you can as well, if you do feel like supporting us in that way as well. But everybody, like I said, really do appreciate you for all tuning in, those that have, and keep getting your comments in. And also, as well, if you do want to stop us at any stage, feel free to do what Dark Sun G has done and bring up a super chat. He says, I can't wait to see Van de Ven play against Brentford. Is he going to be starting against Brentford, do you think, Jacob? Ooh, a little chance for Richie
Oh,
here.
oh, oh. Come on, Richie. Um, as far as the chance for Mickey Van, I worry that it's not enough time, but at the same time, 5 days of training with the squad, you is it. it might be enough to be better than Dyer Sanchez out there on the left side center back. I mean, we've been crying for this man. We finally got him. I think if he doesn't at least make a substitute appearance, well, a lot of us, myself included, will be a little disappointed. Honestly, when I watched his interview today, it instilled a lot of feelings inside. Almost got a little emotional, Jack, because this is a player, like I said, since January. I've told you this, but since January, I've been keeping my eyes on Mickey Van de Veen, and I've wanted him since January. And the fact that we finally got him, I'm absolutely thrilled, through the moon. Lovely to hear him speak. Sounds like a well composed young man. Oh, there's Rafinha behind.
I'm sorry, just refreshing it here, trying to catch up.
Oh, are we pretty behind?
Might have been in the beginning. I'm just checking now.
Did they
Yep,
score?
we're that far behind that they've just scored there. I think we were
They
like
just got.
40
Last
seconds
thing I
behind.
saw was a ball in behind Sanchez to Rafinha, and he had a lot of space. And
Jesus.
now Lewandowski's smiling. What happened there?
I think we're more caught up now, but now I'm also just regretting that because I mean, in a way, am I not regretting that because Sanchez now I don't have to see maybe in real time, the mistake of what just happened there.
2.5 minutes. Yeah, so he did get in behind Sanchez there, turned him around, oodles and noodles of space.
Pedro Porro getting caught at the back post there.
Not watching his man. Vicario could have saved that. That was right under his pit. I mean, it's a close shot. It's hard for Vicario to say that, but Sanchez getting dolled up. Pedro Porro not tracking his man. That's why Emerson Royale starts over him. Lewandowski does what Lewandowski does. Rafino with the mustache and goatee, an interesting choice. He used to just sport the goatee. No, he almost had it. Vicario almost had that.
That's tough. Very tough. Sorry, everybody. Just kind of just getting caught up here.
Third minute, 2.5 minutes we concede. We all knew we were going to concede. I'm not too worried about. Paul Beatty's got a really good. Paul Beatty from Hotspur Hippie. He's got a really good point to make about this stuff. He says, you know what? If we concede goals, that's fine, as long as we don't concede more than we score. So
The basketball, we're making it turn into a basketball game at this stage. Solomon, Pedro Porro in behind here, a little heavy.
oh,
But I'm excited to see Van de Ven come in here, Dark Sun G. Big up to you, my friend. And it's just because we don't have to see exactly what just happened there. Sanchez getting done in behind, and also too maybe with Emerson too combined on the pitch, we might not have to see Pedro Porro being beaten on the back post. I feel bad for Porro though, and I really like the guy. I think he's technical quality, but I'm just starting to think like he's maybe just showing to not, really fit in and, as a right back. And does Ange even see him as a right wing is, another question as well. It's another worry for sure. Balling behind
another
for
ball behind.
Lewandowski. They're in here. This is a worry. Just Sanchez and Dyer. It's just, oh, it's probably a goal here. Oh my
Oh,
Lord. Rafinha's missed a gigantic sitter. I don't even know how much I want to read into this game. I would say, everybody, if you have a puke bucket to the side here, very well recommended because we're just going to be watching Dyer and Sanchez just being torn apart here.
jeez.
It's just not going to be good. It really isn't.
Yeah, Rafinha should
Vicario,
have
good
hit that
clearance
target
though.
there. Okay, Skip. Put your hand on him, but don't want to do anything else. Okay. What's happened to our press here? Now we look scared. We conceded one, almost conceded two.
Because we have Dyer and these guys back in the team.
There you go. Come on, get him.
Big up Paul Markey says center back tonight. Num and Numpty are together, a right pile of crap. It's like, Paul, I really just don't really know if I can read much into this game then because of that, right? Because I really hope these guys aren't going to be the center backs we have to witness for the rest of this season. And because if they are, I mean, it's going to be torture and it's going to be just like last season. But the fact that just them coming into this team this quickly and are conceding and looking this just incompetent this quickly really does to me, I think, say a lot about how just they're just not good enough. And they've just been getting away with honestly just being imposters for quite a long time here. And feel bad for Conte, feel bad for Jose, feel bad for Ange right now. I mean, what is Ange even really learning or, getting from all this, watching these guys just continue to shit the bed?
I mean, I think Ainge knows we're going to concede. We've been conceding before he got here. We haven't stopped conceding since he got here. to the Sea City side, the Sea City of Sailors and the West Ham, and we'll concede to everybody. It's not a surprise we conceded to Barcelona. I'm not too upset about it either. I mean, this is just another example of what are we doing here? Dyer pointing, watching, Pedro Porro not keeping an eye on his man on the back post. It's just not good communication. Just simple breakdown. They're showing the replay there, so I'm reliving a nice moment of our defense. Yeah, you know what? If we would have gone out there and pitched a shutout, what are we going to say then about Dyer and Sanchez? So,
Well, it
um,
was never going to happen. I think that's kind of the problem. Is you would have bet your house on us conceding if this is going to be the back line. Also, I mean, maybe more seriously because we also know that Darren Sanchez at the end of the day aren't good enough. But Pedro Porro is, as much as I love the guy, I mentioned kind of in the fan show that a potential sort of disappointment of the season could be Pedro Porro because
nice.
what sort of position
Come on,
can he
Reggie.
play?
What the hell is that?
Perisic, Perisic doing a little all in there. I think it was Reggie. Yeah, you
That
were
was
right.
Reggie.
Basuma.
Yeah. Now it's
Now it's out
Perisic.
wide to Perisic. He's taking on a little step over,
Mm.
deflected into the
I want to
keeper's
know. We
arms.
didn't talk about. We were talking about something else when it happened, but Oliver Skip got clamped up with a knee roll on his ankle. What are we doing here? Not even 10 minutes in the game, this guy's sliding in for a loose ball. What's going on, Barcelona? You guys all right? Maybe they're fighting for their position too, and they're trying to show some tenacity. I don't know what that's about. Little reckless. This is a this is a bit of a basketball match at this moment. Regulon heading it to the ether. Come on. This is come on, Basuma. Hey, you look good in that number 8. I can't even lie. I can't wait to see that Premier League number 8. I don't like this new font, but that's neither here nor there. Can't wait to see him. Oh, out wide left. Pedro Porro, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stop him? What are you gonna do? Okay. Why are we not pressing like we were in the first couple minutes? After that goal's conceded, we look a little hesitant to press almost.
Yeah.
Rafina. Oh. Come on, Bazuma. Handball. How many touches of the
Dark
ball?
Sun G saying 100% that Phillips would play better than Darren Sanchez. I don't know if we're really learning much from playing Darren Sanchez at this moment in time, Dark Sun G. That's why it's just me personally. I would rather throw Phillips into the fire. I know he's probably barely even knows, how to say, come on, you Spurs at this stage. But I mean, it just feels like we're not going to learn much from Dyer and Sanchez in this system. We know they're not good enough for so many different reasons. They don't have the on the ball ability to be able to play out the back. We're seeing them constantly we're seeing them constantly giving it away compared to when Romero was back there, and Romero just looks so much more composed on the ball. And two, they don't really have that recovery pace that the defenders are going to need when we do see these kind of balls over the top. And they just, even in that too, they're just not good defenders in general. They just can't make simple tackles, can't really read the game very well, and we're just not gonna really learn much from this exercise, if you ask me, with them in the defense.
See, Ashley Phillips is on the
Even
bench.
Sanchez right now, just stepping out and just to no man's land and throwing his arms up. It's just, it's. I'm not gonna try to get too angry about it, but like I said, it's hard to really learn anything from this, and I would much rather be seeing Phillips play Dark Sun G because I'd be learning much more from it. Well done from Skippy and Basuma, though, there to get out of the press.
And Lo Celso.
Oh, it was Lascelles. Well,
Yeah.
Jacob's got the good eye tonight, everybody. Just
I've
whatever
got
he
this
says.
flat screen. It's 6 inches from my face. The
He's
pixels
got the
may be
good eyes.
pixels, but I can tell by the way they run. That's what I did is I studied and that bow-legged Jenkins. I know the way he runs. And that was him. He did a good job helping us get out of that high press. So good job, Gio. I'm gonna give him props as much as I don't like the guy. If he keeps balling out, I can't say anything. And there it goes. Now we see him get that man. We seem almost late with our
Ooh.
press.
Oh, nicely done, Poro.
There you
There
go,
you are
Poro.
in a Skippy. Skippy, nice little pass into Solomon here. Solomon. Ooh, tried to take him on.
I think this will
Believe
be a good test, though. You're talking about things to learn from. I think Solomon's going to be tested with
that's true.
Adam with good defensive backs. You know what I mean? So he will have to really step it up. You know, we've seen him walk all over some of these other guys, but who are they? Now we're playing Barcelona. Let's see him do that now. There he goes. Nice play.
Into
Solomon on the right.
Solomon. Ooh, who is that? Is that Lo Celso? He's getting pressured here. Sir!
Come on,
Skippy.
Basuma.
It's like everybody's all clattered around each other.
Yeah, we're
It's
clumping
hard
up
to know what's
now.
going on. Pedri, I believe. Bit of pressure, though, from Spurs. They actually got deep into the box.
Yeah, Lo Celso in that Madison role. He's already looking tired. His body language isn't good. We just look a step behind, if I'm honest.
Solomon. Still Solomon.
That's
Sir.
good, sir. Referee.
Oh, I'm loving it. Solomon with his first bit of antics on the floor. We're seeing his we're seeing his diving style.
Oh no, that's legit. Look at the way he came up on that ankle, man.
Ouchies.
When you crunch that ankle
Oof.
like that, that's not fun at
Let out
all.
a real scream there,
That's
Solomon.
twice. That's
It's a
twice
big
they're taking.
sir. It's a big sir. Definitely a big sir. King Hoddle with a big sir. Good to see you, King Hoddle. Good to see you, Sean Maddox. I think I saw Steve D in there. Dermot, big up to you, my friend. I'll try to maybe get you on a halftime, Dermotron. We'll see if it works then. And I think you just have to enter the password. Maybe you weren't entering the password to get in, Dermotron. Big up to you, brother. Tyler's in here. Good to see you as well. Shikari Shock, hopefully you're keeping well. I'm sorry, everybody, like I said, that I'm a bit more all over the place today, and it's not starting the way that it normally does. Appreciate you tuning in nonetheless. And
Nice
it's
ball to the right.
Spurs in a corner.
Nice. Hey, that Luke De Jong, he's got some nice hair, boy. I'll tell you what. Say what you want about the player, he's got some nice hair.
Mickey Van de Ven, I must say, looked pretty good in that Spurs
Oh,
kit.
he looks sharp. Oh, he looks sharp. He was born to play for us. I just felt it, man. I knew it, and I called it. And again, I just felt so emotional watching his interview today. It was just like so surreal. You know what I mean? Like, thought this was only going to be something I get next gen
Oh,
FIFA. Sanchez with the header.
we went for a bit of a routine there, everybody. We went with a short corner from Lo Celso to Pedro Porro, and Pedro Porro just whipped it right in. And probably at least, while being a liability defensively, Ange probably straight away knows what Porro brings with that delivery.
Richarlison there too at the back post, almost waiting for it.
He never misses with the delivery, Pedro Porro.
Ooh, there you go, Skippy to Perisic.
There you
There's
are,
Lo
Lo
Celso.
Celso,
Richie.
Richie,
Oh.
sir. Richie, I think missed the chance, or it sliced it a little bit.
I thought the
Could have
defender
been
got a
another
touch on
corner.
that.
Looks
Yeah,
like
I
it
thought
is
the
another
defender got the
corner.
touch on
Jacob,
that.
like I'm saying here, everybody, he's on the money here today, everybody.
Hey
He's
man, this
got
is
the
my first
eyes.
watch along. I gotta be on it. And that's the thing is I don't do watch along, so like apologies if I get over normally watching a game is a very sanctimonious thing for me and I get kind of animated at times, so apologies anyone.
We're waiting to get animated. We're waiting to bang it
It's
in the
coming.
goals
I
here.
feel it right
Pedro
here. Come on.
Porro whipping it in.
Oh, what a punch.
Punched away by Ter Stegen. Basuma holding it up here. Good
Nice.
touch from Basuma. Good. Oh,
Forward
nice little
thinking. We didn't pass
pass.
it back. I like that.
Solomon decides not to cross, but he's taking his man on here. Oh,
Strong man.
sir.
That was a little get him, Basuma.
Solomon decided not to cross. Basuma absolutely destroys that man.
Skip and Basuma late to get their man there.
Basuma rocking the arm sleeve
Oh,
as
he's
well.
pissed. Oh, he's pissed. He got that quarterback sleeve. Come on. Boom. Smack
Yeah.
his face. I love it. Basuma. You know what? He knew he was late there. Skip was late to the man before that. They both knew they were late there. I don't mind it. It's a friendly. They've been going hard at us as well, so I don't really feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Don't care about man's nose. There's Ainge. There's everyone's father looking stoic. He looks serious. So I guarantee there's something that he's looking for here from people. Um, like I said, this could still be a good test. I don't know. Like you were saying, I don't think there's anything to learn from the center back pairing there. We already know, but there's still a bunch of key positions. I think. Oh, slicing ball down the left. Pedro Porro, can he get back? Can he get his man? He's beaten.
Mm, oh, nice little defending there from Poro. It looks like he
Yeah,
deflected it or at least got a
it's
tackle in. I think that's what's his name, Balde. He's quite a talented player.
wow.
I think I hear a tiny bit of the game or something in the background. Is
Do
that you
you?
or is that might be someone else?
Oh, that's not me. I don't know what that. I hear it though.
Oh, that's Dermatron. I think
Oh, it's
Dermatron's in
Dermot.
here. Finally, he's in here.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
I was like, Dermatron's made it. He's finally
Uh-huh,
made
there's
it.
Lo
I'll bring him
Celso
in when he's
playing it
ready.
out left to Perisic. What are you gonna do, Perry? What are you gonna do? You gonna dance? Oh, two men on him. Yeah, he got pressed up. Come on, Perisic, get that back. Mm. Why is no one? What are you doing, Lo Celso? I thought we were trying to press here. We're just walking like strolling around. Oh well, we turn. I thought whenever we turn the ball over, we're supposed to press heavy. That's what I thought. We turn the ball over there and we're just standing around, not marking the next man, and then you just
Barcelona
wow.
have absolutely cut us apart there. Sanchez just getting pulled out really easily. He
Get
just doesn't
back.
even know how to make a tackle in those positions.
Come on, Basuma, step
Lewandowski,
up.
top of the box. He's gone for a distance. Good save from Vicario. Palms it out wide.
Come on.
Rafinha tries to meg. Sir! It's a little naughty.
Whoa.
Tries to meg Region with a through the wickets there, and then a bit of a naughty tackle on him. But Lewandowski with a shot from distance, and Vicario with a nice little save. But he kind of goes for the punch or the parry more often than he goes for the catch. I'm not thinking that he probably could have caught that, to be fair. So let's see this little shot from Lewandowski. Yeah, I don't know if a catch is possible there.
You don't risk that either in that moment. You don't risk it like that. I mean, that ball had some pace to it. He's not a tight end or a wide receiver in the NFL. You don't want to try and catch it. That was my problem as a goalie. I would always try and catch it rather than just punch it sometimes. And you can find yourself in a precarious situation when you're, caught in the moment. It's like, do I try to go for the catch? But 9 times out of 10, it's better to just fist it away.
Frankie De Jong leading a
Nice,
counterattack here.
Basuma. Nice, Basuma. Great tackle, Basuma.
Cleaned up by Basuma.
They're
Spurs.
whistling it, but who cares? Ref was right there on it.
Barcelona easily have had the better of the attacks thus far. Basuma out wide to Celso here. To Perisic. Perisic switches play all the way to Poro. Have a hit, Pedro. Oh, looks like Pedro earned a corner. Spurs racking up the corners. Great tackle by Basuma. Great recovery by the man. Lo Celso on the corners these days. I would say that, at one stage he really could not get them 6 feet off the ground, but hopefully that's just the old Lo Celso, and we've gotten a new Lo Celso now with these
Uh,
corners. Here he is.
wow.
Oh, a little cheeky from Gio.
No, he didn't mean that. That
You
was
don't think he
just
meant that?
No, hell no. He can barely beat the first man with a corner. You're telling me he
You still
intentionally
think he's
went for
like
the
Ericsson, yeah.
Olympico? Hell no.
Yeah.
I think he just booted it and was like, "Oh, that was nice. That's very close." He's trying to hit that. He's trying to hit the near post. You can tell.
Far
See?
post. Yeah, no, that was shocking. He's shit at corners. No, I still am convinced he's shit at corners.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Need Pedro on those, if you ask me.
I agree. I like Pedro Porro on the corner.
Ter Stegen, ooh. See, that's a nice little hold up play in possession and building out the back.
So, like, what's happened to our press?
They're just breaking it. I mean, Barcelona, I mean, they're a team that are notorious for this, right? I mean, it's kind of built into their style and ethos is being able to break these presses.
Yeah. Look at
Frankie
that.
de
Turn
Jong
away from
just
Ollie.
absolutely spinning Skippy. Think it's out wide of Balde again. Lewandowski or no,
That
that
was
was
Gavi. Pedri. Pedri and Gavi right there.
this is Pedri.
Now that they wear a similar looking number, it's really hard to tell them apart.
Sanchez.
Wow.
Not a great pass from Perisic. Come on, Tottenham. It's been a bit of a dull orange game. You know, this has probably been
Well, we haven't conceded in 20 minutes now, so that's a
yeah.
positive
They've
sign.
they've
That's
definitely been able to sort of in a good way, you could say, probably at the end of the day, sort of bore things, you know, kind of calm things down a little bit. Sanchez into Region, cheeky but a little heavy. Basuma. Spurs are, I would say, less successful than Barcelona are at trying to break the press and trying to build out from the back, where it's not as pretty in the way that we do it compared to Barcelona thus far. Lo Celso, though, dropping deep, doing very well there. Sprays it out wide to Basuma. Back into Lo Celso in the middle of the pitch here. Spurs kind of in the final third for Barcelona. There you are, Region, little space. Top of the
Oh,
box, Gio with the
oh,
post, Skippy! Get in there,
yeah!
baby! Come on, Ollie Skip, grabbing the goals. They're hard to find. They're rare to come by. But
Let's
Skippy, he
go.
does get the crucial ones. He gets the good ones. And Gio Lo Celso, I would say,
Reguilon,
probably
hey,
started that whole move there. I would say that's a Gio goal, if you ask me. He started the move by
oh,
dropping deep. He sprayed it out wide to Basuma. Then I think Basuma played a beautiful pass in behind for Region. Region with that crossing ability that no one gives
no,
credit for, I feel
oh,
like,
that was a
other than
nasty pass
myself.
by
I love
Perisic.
Region's. Region's crossing, I think, is just absolutely perfect and always spot on. Beautiful cross on the floor by Regs. And a decent, not the greatest of finishes from Gio because he always has to go with the left foot. And then Ollie skipped there with a nice cleanup of a finish. Maybe not even the best of saves from or no, I guess it hit off the
No, that was a
post. I'm
good,
not sure if he saved it,
yeah.
Ter Stegen, yeah.
For me, I know you say you felt like it did build from the back there with Giovanni Lo Celso. That's great to see us play out from the back and build up to a goal right there, sliding down the left side. Honestly, Perisic and Reguilon, that was a nice little link up they have. That pass from Reggie though, that was pretty slicing. That was
I
a
mean,
pretty
Reggie could
slicing.
be a similar sort of defensive liability to Pedro Porro. I would say maybe he's still a better defender than Pedro Porro from what we've seen. Um, I don't know, with him in big games in a Spurs shirt. I mean, we just haven't really seen Pedro Porro kind of like put in a good defensive performance kind of in some of the bigger games compared to maybe what Reggie has done in the past. So I feel like Reggie is maybe more capable of kind of filling in as that backup left back than Pedro Porro is at the moment, as filling in as the alternative right back. But I guess we'll see here. But Spurs 1-1, we're level. I mean, it's definitely taken a while to sort of warm into things, but now you could say we look more comfortable.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself with Reguilon. Honestly, he'll do one thing good and two things bad in my opinion. Great play there on the left, but defensively he's shocking. Also earlier in the another possession, I saw him just kind of wayward with his passing, and he had to slide in to recover a ball which he couldn't corral. But that pass, wow! I think that's always been what like his problem, right, is he can go forward, he can cross in the ball decently, can't shoot and can't defend, but I like that
Mm,
play right there from Sergio.
I
Basuma with
think
the yellow.
Basuma has been. This referee is. He's. I'm. I do not. I remember him from many a Champions League games, and I do not mind. I do not like that guy. I do not like most of the Spanish referees. I'll be honest, are really just the ones that you don't want to have in the Champions League. They really do kind of just gloss up their hair. They put up all the makeup, you know, they make sure that, you know, all the nose hairs are picked out and
What are we
everything before the
doing?
games.
What are we
Oh
doing?
no.
Oh my god.
Was that on strange decision there from maybe Vicario to come out there. He went with
Come
the
out and
header,
head it. Yeah, what was
but
that?
I don't know. Is it? It felt like it wasn't handled though by the defender. So
There
yeah,
was
I could
3
see
people
why.
standing there, and why
Yeah,
was he coming
Vicario was
through
just.
the
It felt like Vicario kind of just did it like a well, what the hell are you guys doing sort of thing, and just
Nice.
oh, that's a foul. There you go. Good hold up by Richie there. I mean, but I don't know. It looked awkward from Vicario, but at the same time, when I think about it, it's just three guys just sort of standing around the ball doing nothing when there should have been some sort of clearance
Bro,
of
he
some
coulda
kind.
caught that.
Caught this one.
No, the first one, that was a great save. That one right there, running
Maybe he
behind.
didn't want to
This save was great.
with all the momentum he had. He probably didn't want to step out of the penalty or out of the
Oh,
18.
you're
Maybe
right. Yeah, because he was I didn't think I was just looking
he's
at
running
where
full
he
pace, about to
yeah,
kill
and there's
Sanchez
no way
there.
he could have caught it and stopped. You're right. That's a good point.
I don't know. It just felt like he had a bit of a like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" moment.
He's definitely gonna have those with this defense, let's be honest. Oh, Gio tried to slice the defense, but Reggie won it back. Now Perisic out left.
Oh, okay, there you are. We have Perisic. Bit heavy though, but
Reguilon,
he's in the corner. He's one on one with Kunde, slicing him
show him.
up. Earns a
Corner,
corner. Yes, he
corner.
does. Big up
Didn't
to
that guy
Steve
reject
D. It
us?
was a lovely move down the left, my friend. That's what I thought too. I think it was maybe I'm giving Gio a lot of credit there, but I just thought it was a lovely goal that sort of just started from what we kind of needed with someone just to drop deep and kind of link up the play a bit. And Gio called. I asked for somebody to do it. Gio did it right in the moment. A goal happened. Dark Sun G with a super chat says Reggie is back. No more Sessegnon, please. Come on, you Spurs, Skippy goals. Yes, I would say, and you think about Reggie versus Sessegnon. I mean, it is a night and day. I know we maybe aren't, some of us aren't the biggest fan of Reguilon, but I do think he's at least more useful than what Sessegnon has been for us. Ooh, not as successful from the corners, I would say, from how many we've had.
No, but that
Would
was actually a good ball in from Gio on the corner. Maybe he could do one side, but not the other. I don't know because he only wants to use that
who do
left
we
foot.
have? Who is the set piece specialist that we brought in again?
James Madison.
No, the Italian guy. Do we still have
Oh,
him on the books?
we got someone. I thought. I don't know. I haven't paid
That
attention to that.
we were one of the best set piece teams immediately after we hired that guy from last season.
Yeah, he was Antonio Conte's guy, right?
Yeah, the guy with like 4,000 different set piece routines, like
That's
just drunk.
excessive. Wow. Wow, wow. Oh, he's getting
Oh
outpaced.
no!
Sanchez outpaced.
Oh
Oh,
no! Oh! Does he win it? Yes, he does. Well done to
that
you,
was
Sanchez.
and he hit the
Phew.
ball off. Wow,
Likes to
Sanchez.
make it exciting.
Oh, exciting is a word for you that you can use.
Likes to make it. He likes to make our hearts race for sure. Looks
How
like
was that?
he even injured Araujo or something, because he looked like he motioned to want to be substituted afterwards. Let's see how he does this. Sanchez tracking back here.
Boom,
Ooh,
hit the
gets a little bit of
ball.
the ball. Well done to you.
Hit it, yeah, and outside of the box when he did it too.
Yeah,
No,
Araujo
Araujo
tried
turned
to
him
take him for
around.
pace there, and Sanchez was able to stop the Uruguayan. Well done to you. Well done to Sanchez. I mean, both him and Dyer, I mean, looked
There you go.
absolutely rocky in the first 5 to 10 minutes. Looked like it was going to be a long game, but they've somehow, maybe against all odds, against our, judgments, have actually, I think, calmed things down a bit more. Perisic coming down the left here
Ooh,
into Gio.
can't corral the ball. Horrible
Gio
first
rocking it off
touch.
the ref there, going for, I would say, a rare right-footed pass.
Can someone tell me why Alfie Devine has a better first touch than Giovanni Lo Celso?
Moonhead out wide to Skippy. Solomon on the right now. Tries to give it in to Richie, who came short to him. Didn't work out. Richie
Wins it back and gives
wins
it
it
away.
back for us. Referee. Thank you.
Pedro Porro
Spurs win it
smashed it
back.
off the defender. Nice.
Spurs with the quick throw in and a Solomon. Solomon
Foul.
taken out for a foul, kind of sort of basically near the opposition corner area. Basically, I would say this is absolutely set up for a Pedro Porro cross. Agreed.
This guy is worried. Number 3 is definitely worried about Solomon on that side. He every time he's wow. They are worried about it, or that's just the game plan because also on the left side when Perisic has it, they kind of double him. So maybe that's what it is. All right, Davinson
Sanchez
knocked the man
injuring
out.
Araujo. You love to see it. Well done, too, Sanchez. Get him out of here.
Come on,
He's a
Sanchez.
good defender too, Araujo. So it's nice to see.
I mean, I don't like that though. I do want us to play against the best that they got, personally. That's just how I feel because I'm tired of like the narrative of oh, it's West Ham's B team. I mean, Jared Bowen is on their A team as far as I know, but and then it's we're gonna play Leicester that got canceled. We didn't play Roma, so then we played Singapore Sea City Lions, and then I want us to play top level competition because that's only gonna make us better, or at least let us see where the what I mean,
Oh,
not cover the cracks, so to speak.
Solomon. It was a cross in from Lascelles. So Solomon will rebound. Ha!
Ooh,
Ha! What are they? Then they're asking for a penalty here
or a corner.
or a corner, something.
All right, let's see the replay here. Oh, handball.
Oh, handball. Good touch from Solomon there.
Wow, he said Robert Lewin who? Yeah, and then he sliced it. So with his left foot.
It was a we had that free kick from earlier, everybody, and it was a cross in from or it was a set piece taken from Gio. It wasn't a bad ball, and sort of from like a second ball, kind of scrambling around the box. Solomon took it down, tried to have a shot on goal, but kind of just missed the mark. Really, just kind of scuffed it wide. Tried to go for the near post, but ended up going. Spurs trying to build out from the back here. But decent chance actually for Solomon. If to be fair, I wouldn't. I mean, it's hard to say. Maybe he should have scored, but you kind of expected him to put it on target.
Well, it's on his weaker foot. I'm not too upset about it.
No,
He
yeah,
should
it
have
feels
put it
hard
on
to say.
target for sure.
Hard to say he should have scored, but maybe he could have put it on target.
The thing is, when you're working in those tight spaces like that, Jack, it's really hard to get things right. And then you're taking your shot off your weaker foot. I'm not surprised that he sliced it. It's a bang bang type of play. If you watch it in real time and not, when you watch it in slow mo, you're like, wow, he really sliced that. But if you think about it in real time, he had just juked out Lewandowski. He was trying to get his shot off before the defender closed him down. So I'm not too upset about it. I still like what I'm seeing so far from Maynard. I'm not that,
To be
you
honest,
know,
what you would say, do you know who you want for that moment? Bit of a Dane
Madison.
Scarlett after what he
Oh,
finished,
ooh,
with the left foot. You
that
want a Dane
half
Scarlett
turn.
left foot in that
Mm.
situation. Dane Scarlett absolutely rockets that with his left foot. Oh,
It was just
Solomon.
sort of
Beautiful timing
reminded
there.
me how, Madison versus Shakhtar was, ballerina in the box, tippy toe. It kinda reminded me of that a little bit. Not as beautiful of a dance, but it's still nice by Maynard Solomon there to
King Huddle asking if our B team is giving Barcelona a game here. I mean, to be honest, yes. Now we are. All of a sudden, it felt like, to be honest, King Huddle, first 10 minutes, if you were watching, you were starting to feel like it was going to be turning into a 3-0, 4-0 sort of occasion by halftime. The way I see it, though, is it could be a pretty decent game. And maybe what I reaction, typical reactionary type comments, might actually be something to learn from this. I really still will say I don't know if there is much to learn from Dyer and Sanchez being together, just because we both know their shit. Like it's not like they're going to be better under a different manager, even if they are, playing slightly better than they were in the first 10 minutes. I'm still not going to praise or give much credit to that, but it's nice to see that Spurs have actually calmed down a little bit here and definitely giving Barcelona a better game.
Basuma taking that hit there on the shin. How big are your shin pads, bro? They were huge when I played. There's no excuse there. That's what happens when you wear those little tiny shin pads. You get kicked in the shin. That's what a shin guard's there for, but it's neither here nor there. Perisic out left.
Perisic, top of the ball. Ooh, that's another goal!
Ooh!
Skippy with the brace! Big header! A Perisic cross as well. I said the Skippy goals were rare to come by. I guess they're not. He's grabbing them in the friendlies. He's one of the top scorers now in, in the
Wow.
preseason. He's grabbing a brace. Spurs 2-1 up.
Wow, I thought that there was so much pace on that header. I was like, surely that was a Richarlison head that popped up and hit that. But no, little tiny Skippy, get up. Come on.
Oh, it felt like there were two lads, maybe even three people that could have finished it. It started from, I think, Gio spraying it out wide to Perisic, whoever that was
Ooh,
as the right back for Barcelona gave Perisic way too much space. I mean, he's one of the best crossers in the world. I mean, you just don't give that guy that sort of space. He just whips it on the money, sort of dinks it even, kind of into Skippy, who's sort of, bursting into the box, kind of box to box sort of style, just practically powers it past Ter Stegen, sort of, I think he was pretty much right inside or right outside the 6 yard
what
box
a
or 6 yard
header.
area.
Wow. No,
Powers
that
it
was
past him.
bro, he went up and adjusted his body, like, the timing, that was great, Oliver Skip. Holy
The
shit.
neck power.
Wow.
He used the real neck power on that one, people. Spurs
Wow.
2-1 up, giving Barcelona a game, absolutely. And we're getting back heels, we're getting step overs, and we might get punished for it because we're losing it.
Nice,
Sanchez with another huge
Sanchez.
tackle.
Nice, Sanchez. Sell Dyer, keep Sanchez. I'm just playing. But yeah, actually, I would still, though, when the argument came up, who would you sell first? I'm still selling Dyer first every single day of the week.
Yeah, I think Dyer causes is actually even more problems.
In
But
every aspect, not just defensively and decision
off the
making, like
pitch, yeah, I
every
agree.
aspect, he's atrocious. I don't, flinged it out
Beautiful
wide.
spray.
Nice.
Spurs really taking
Who
it to
was that?
Barcelona here.
Who sprayed that?
Might have been Skippy, but
Ooh,
we'll wait a
another.
moment.
Oh, I love a
Skippy with a
Perisic
brace.
cross.
Honestly, it's amazing. I think it's the first time he's ever grabbed a brace.
I don't even think he did that in Norwich when he had his best ever season.
Gio here. Going for a 6 yard hospital pass, but Gio inside. Ooh, first time ball. Oof.
Bro, put more power on that. Holy shit.
Gio's having one of those games here where this is what I used to, lament about him for is just sometimes you see Gio have a worldie of a game, and then you see other games where he just can't even get the ball 3 yards off the ground. It feels like
But
it's
like
just
in
one.
that position that he was just in, he had oodles of space in front. No one was in front or to his left. It was back behind to his right. And he's like, I'm gonna one time this. That's interesting decision making there, Gio.
Tequila 316 says Jacko on a scale of 1 to 10. How close are you? Happy clapping right now. I'm definitely, if we grab a third here, definitely happy clapping for sure.
Oh,
Spurs with a corner. It's kind of just a bit of volleyball
come
here
on,
with the
Basuma.
headers. Basuma. Oh, step overs
Ooh.
galore. Absolutely sends him. Oh, Basuma. Basuma, just honestly, Eric Garcia doesn't even can't even breathe after that step over.
He said you took my breath away.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's
what? I
so
mean,
weak.
that's a La Liga. That's a La Liga
That
move.
is so weak. He got hit in his, now he's doing this like he's choking on his food at a fine dining restaurant. It looks like a scene out of Mrs. Doubtfire where he's laying on the ground holding his throat. He's like, like he's gagging on some food. He needs the Heimlich. What are we doing? Oh God, that bothers me so much. I hate those kind of reactions to stuff. Like, quit
Spurs
playing.
racking up the corners here. Come on, Perry. Whip it in, baby. Perisic. Shoot, the
Oh,
worst one of the day.
that was worse than Lacelso's two from earlier.
Just went straight out of play, everybody. Went over the far side of the post and uh, wasn't even available for anybody to try to.
You know what's interesting? So it was
We've been shocking
Lacelso.
from corners despite how many we've had.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so it was Lo Celso on the right twice, and then he went on the left once, and he actually did a decent one, and then that one was Perisic taking that I
They
wonder if it
said
was,
we've
like,
had 7 before that one. We had 7 corners thus far before that one.
interesting. So maybe they're having, like, a pitch count type of thing, like, "All right, Gio, you get to take X amount of corners, then Perisic, you take the other X amount of corners." I don't
Maybe
know.
for defensive reasons, we're not allowing Pedro Porro to take them, but I feel like Pedro Porro should be taking all of them. Or Perisic.
Or
Perisic is good at
Perisic.
taking them. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Perisic on the right side corner because he can whip it in with his left. That's what we all like to see. A lot of space on the right, but he didn't even go there.
I'm actually Barcelona, to be honest, I think they have a pretty it's for the most part, they have some of their best players in here, but you're also seeing like some of the guys that I would say are, at least in my opinion, when I occasionally watch Barcelona, are probably not good enough for this team. I see Eric Garcia or that former beautiful pass from Perisic in the midfield.
Basuma got
Mm,
clattered. He got absolutely smashed.
Spurs and Barcelona have, in a way, sort of traded periods of this first half. Spurs have honestly have looked like the far more confident
Oh, there
team
he is.
now that they've kind of warmed up into things. We look like the far more confident team.
I don't know that I like the way we're taking our free kicks in the in our half. We're just playing it short and then letting them press us. What is that? I don't understand. He's like, all right, I'd be booting you.
Oh,
Oh,
it's got to be a better pass, Tyre. You got to at least get
no,
it
it's
to.
that's still ours.
Yeah,
The
but what I
defender.
mean to say was just sort of in between either Skip and Richie. It's got to be to one of
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
Spurs still with the throw in, and earlier we were really struggling to break Barcelona's press, but doing a much better job now. Oh, Pedro getting maybe
What's that
lucky there.
late
Hard to
call?
know.
They all thought it went out.
Yeah, Barcelona seemed convinced that it didn't go out, and Spurs did a very good job in doing that. Everybody stop.
Everyone stops, so they have
And so
to.
we have to convince the ref that it was out of play. I'm not sure if it was. And another poor throw in straight away given away by Pedro.
What are we doing here? I understand the playing it quickly to get it. Okay,
WWE style tackle from Richarlison on Pedri. You'd love to see it.
grab him by the hips and swing him down. There, as old Texas hootenanny now. Look at that, swing your partner down now. There you go, Richie.
Let's
Sorry.
be you're absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Rafinha. Oh, good tackle from Sanchez. Doing so. Oh, you
Come on,
have
Richie.
Solomon in
Look,
behind. Solomon, he's
go, go,
onside
go, go,
here.
go,
He's
go,
one on
go.
one.
Oh!
Oh, he's straight at the keeper. God, you've seen him score those against Real Madrid. You've seen them score those in
Oh.
big Champions League games. These counterattack goals. That was a rare counterattack for Spurs. We don't usually go for the big counterattacks. We're more kind of a team that breaks people down now, but Solomon had a nice counterattack opportunity. Good ball in behind from Richie. Hits it straight at Ter Stegen. Disappointment. He probably needs to. He got on target this time, but
Dyer,
definitely
what are
needs
you
to do
doing,
a bit better.
Dyer? Oh my God, I hate it when he touches the ball in the box. I just never feel good about it.
God, Richarlison would do great in La Liga with his hold up play, but also his diving.
I was about to say, with the way he gets shot if you touch him, he takes a shotgun to the back every time. Look, he's pulling man's shorts down, and he's like, "Oh my
No,
God,
he's
look at
made for
that
La Liga.
replay."
He's absolutely made for it. He would
Oh,
tear it
he would
apart. No wonder
thrive.
Real Madrid were thinking about him because you think about it, right? He has the strength to actually hold it up, but then the moment
Mhm.
that when he does hold it up, yeah, exactly, he'll
Oh,
go
you hurt
down
me. Yeah,
after he gets hold up. After he successfully holds it up, then he'll go down. It's a win-win scenario for him if he's in La Liga.
it's the old. There's a sniper in the stadium, and just took him out. Anytime you touch him. Oh, there we go.
Okay,
Good
Spurs
job,
here.
Gio.
Lo Celso,
Nice
ball
pass,
behind Reggie.
Gio. Oh,
Offsides.
offsides. Regulon will never score a goal as good as the own goal he scored against us. That was a banger. I'll never forget that shot. So much power. He was way offside. Whoa.
No, maybe who's he definitely was off, but it was Balde, I think, sort of their left back had kept it close there. But
I guess that angle
who's to
didn't
say we
help.
had confidence though in Region actually finishing? Because like you said, part of the reason people didn't like Region as much as when he did get those chances, he would always miss them.
Sky him. I remember he had to open. It was him and the keeper, and he had all space and time he needed, and he sailed it over the bar. I was just like, bro, what are you doing? Like a headless chicken. I love his energy. He's got a lot of energy. Can pass it well. We saw in that first goal. So he does have talent. Not taking anything away from the kid. Just sometimes
I think he technically cuts it like on the ball. He's technically good enough, but it's
it's
just he
this
has
that right
other
there. What is
liabilities.
that? How you got
He has
that
other
ball over the
liabilities.
top? That was happening all during West Ham when he played that first 45. Jared Bowen was looking world class, and it was just like anytime I see him doing that, it's a problem defensively. But yeah, you're right. When he has the ball at his feet, he's not a half bad little dude, but it's defensively, positionally, and like I just think he gets too excited, like that kid in class that just won't chill out. They're too energetic. Sometimes you need some composure. That's the word I'm looking for. Composure. Ball in. Worked out by Sanchez or Lascelles. I don't know who that was.
Balde. Back to Frankie de Jong here. Basuma doing a good job, though, pressing up high. Rafinha, one-on-one with Reguilon. Well done. Good defending from Spurs. Maybe an opportunity to counter. Oh, Solomon just caught off the ball. Come on, Skippy.
There you go, Skip. Throw your hands up. You didn't do it. I love that. He stomp on you. I didn't see nothing.
I
Wow.
think it's
Wow.
ooh.
Balls over the top of Pedro Porro. That's how you want to. If he's playing for us, that's how you attack him. Corner? No.
That's right. I can't even believe Barcelona bought Romeo from Southampton. What a strange transfer that was. A strange one to bring him over there.
Oh, what's going on?
Bit of a scuffle.
Well, no, it looked like Rafinha was pulling Richarlison away from some nonsense, some shenanigans. But give him a little push. I'm sorry. We may be countrymen, but not right now. Don't be pushing me like
And
that.
that is halftime there, everybody. Very, I mean, it's funny because it looked like it could have been a long day. And it looked like Jacob had waited a long time for me to get things set up and then was going to have to also witness what could be a pretty dismal performance. But all of a sudden, feels like kind of brought some respect back. We've started to look like a competent team. What do you think happened, Jacob? Where do you think Spurs started to kind of get things together? What do you make of that first half? Really, I think it was sort of a half of period. So there was periods when Barcelona looked really good, and then there were periods when they really were actually struggling against us. So how do you break down that first half?
Um, Great response, honestly, because like you said, conceding in under 3 minutes of the start, it very much looked like we were in for a long day. But honestly, 7 corners to their 1 corner, that shows you that number one, we're pushing the ball in their half a lot, and I like to see that. Our press has looked good at times, and then at other times it looks like they're a little bit unconfident. But I think that's just one of the things when you're working in a new system that you're going to have to like acclimate to. But
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, Solomon, I thought he's been all right there on the right. He hasn't really beat his man too many times, but he's gotten a couple opportunities on that right hand side and in the box. Um, and then I look over at the left, like Perisic, he's tearing it up. He looks good. Perisic looks good. And I remember at the beginning of the when it first all opened up, I was like, I don't know where he fits in. Is this a guy who even wants to be here, etc. But I said he's got enough quality, in my opinion, that him coming off the bench for 15 minutes at the end of a match, he could still whip in a couple balls. I don't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're showing this first goal here. Rafinha just babying Davinson Sanchez. But you know what? Davinson Sanchez, a howler in the first 10 minutes, but the
Yeah,
next
but
35.
better than Dyer too. Actually significantly better because a lot of attacks have gone down. I would say Sanchez's side. He's cleaned up pretty well. He's made some decent last minute tackles. Even if he didn't read it well in the first place, he still would clean up pretty well for it. Not bad on the ball. I would actually say better on the ball from what I've seen than Dyer has been. Dyer's played a few hospital passes here and there, and he's kind of given it up for no reason. Sanchez, I don't know. Maybe there's some scouts there. Real Betis could be watching. Sevilla could be watching some of the clubs that he's denied moves to in the past. Maybe he's just kind of showing out for them. Who knows? But Dermatron, I believe we have you here live in
Yeah.
front of the audience. Good to have you finally. What do you make of the
Dermot.
first half?
Look, firstly, can you hear me okay?
Sounding good, Dermatron.
Good. Look, for me, a dodgy first 5-10 minutes. And when I saw Dyer and Sanchez, I went, worst nightmare scenario. Going to hide behind the couch. and just come out like if they don't have the ball and just going to pop up and say, "Are we playing?" But to be fair, Sanchez has had a good first half.
Yeah.
He's been better than Dyer. I think Spurs have worked into it. I think Barcelona were the better side, but Tottenham have worked into it. And look, it is pre-season, so Barcelona are really not a full help. But I've been impressed with Tottenham. Been impressed with Solomon. Been really impressed with Richarlison. I think some of his hold up playing Jack. I know you said he would be good in La Liga. He'd be great in the Italian league as well. Do you know? To be fair, and I thought Skippy. I'm really delighted for him. You wait for a boss to come along, and then you get two come along at once. That's Skippy goals. Really
Mm.
impressed. And Perisic for me. Do you know what? I keep Perisic for the season as a squad player.
Yeah, we got one more year of his high wages. Why not?
Yeah, I would. I would. I'd keep him there as come on, say with 15, 20 minutes to go and get the crosses in, because that one of the crosses was brilliant for Skippy's header, and I've been really impressed with Tottenham. They haven't let the occasion get to them, so now I'm really happy. Great way
And
to go into Brentford.
And maybe just a bit on Skippy here, lads. I've said in the past, Dave has said in the past, can he really cut it in this system? Because we sort of feel like by himself in that number 6 role, we don't think he's good enough on the ball to break the press of a team like a Barcelona or like an Arsenal. When you kind of get surrounded by guys and you have to make the right decision, you have to be able to be composed, and you also have to know what to do on the half turn. And feels like Skippy last season a few times, maybe more than a few times, got kind of caught out, made a bad touch, or just didn't even know what was behind him. And it feels like Postacoglu has sort of given him this like Papa Matasar kind of alternative role, more of like a number 8 box to box type midfielder. I didn't think that made much sense for him either as a role, but a brace today against what is the best opponent that we're probably playing in this preseason. I mean, if you're going to read into any of the preseason games, I mean, you could probably read into this one slightly more than some of the others. This is a pretty decent Barca team that they put out there, and Skippy's playing that Papa Matasar role and is cleaning up with some of these goals. And they've been kind of like poacher type goals. At least the first one was very, good instincts from him, and then the second one is really good instincts from him, and it's a really good goal in general. Great header, great run, and I'm kind of impressed, and I'm interested if some of us who have been maybe Skippy doubters of recent could be proven wrong, or at least could be, shown that he can develop into a different type role. Maybe I'll start with you, Dermatron. What do you think, Skip? Have you been a big lover of Skip? Have you had any doubts of him in the past?
Do you know, at the end of last season, I was thinking get rid of him. But I think the more this preseason's gone on, I think Skippy and the Clune other players have got more freedom to express themselves, to play football. Under Conte, it was very much rigid. You do that job, that's all you're doing. It didn't suit Skippy's game. This suits Skippy's game. And I think for me, Skippy's been really impressive um, all through preseason. And it's great to see there is a talent there. He is a good player. He showed that when he was on loan at Norwich for that season. And when he came back on the Nuno, there is a good player there. So look, I'm really impressed. I'm hoping this continues. And I think hopefully we'll get the best of Skippy now. He's a young talent. He's come through the ranks. He's one of our own. Let's get behind him and give him all the encouragement and confidence he deserves. Because if he can be played really good, and we really develop Skippy, we've got a great player on there. And we've got someone that can take over from Højbjerg or something, his replacement. Instead of buying somebody in, try to, we've got Skippy there as his replacement. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this season now, this preseason, I'm being really impressed with him.
What do you think, Jacob? I mean, the fact that Skippy, like I said, is sort of a guy that maybe towards the end of last season started getting a bit of flack from people like myself, people like Dave, and started to kind of have some doubts over whether he could really cut it. It's one of those awkward situations where he's one of our own, and you want him to do well, and you want him to be one of the best from the academy, but people are kind of starting to say, he's another Winks. It's another that type of situation. I don't know. Do you think Skippy could prove some people wrong this season?
He's definitely got the ability to, and he's young enough to do that. I mean, I've always had the hopes for him, but I think like a lot of people last season, those doubts started creeping in because of the way that we were using him and the way that he was playing. And I agree, kind of in that number 6 role, he's not being asked to do that. That's Basuma's role, who's being asked to do that. And he's given license to go forward, kind of like what we saw with Papa Matasar on Sunday. It's interesting I've always felt all along that Papa Montessar deserves the nod ahead of Skip because I think he showed more. But fair play to Skip. He's gotten in that boxing ring and he said, you know what, ding ding, let's
Hmm.
go. And I,
Hmm.
I like the fight. I like the desire, the will, he's got it all, right? And he's taught him through and through. So there's no reason to not like this guy. It's always just been, is he good enough? And you know what? I don't like to put players in a box, especially when they're under like 25, 26 years old. If you're under 30, yeah, there's a good chance you could still get better or get worse. And with Skip, I always left the door open for either. And you know what? I love the kid. I love to see him succeed. He had a great goal last season. That first one that he got for us was like a jumping scissor kick type. It was a great one. But again, I need to see more of what he's doing now. I like it. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because that's what happens, right? He starts to play good, then we put him in this pedestal. Skip is the one. Skip is the answer. Skip's going to do this, that,
Hmm.
etc. And it's like, well, let's just hang on. Let's wait a little bit to see Skip perform consistently at this. One game against Barcelona in a friendly. Um, I don't want to get too overzealous, but I'm definitely excited by what I saw. That second goal to me was absolutely just instinct, desire, and football IQ. He knew where to get in. Perisic whipped in that cross. I'm sure he was aiming for Richarlison, just a little bit overcooked. And guess what? That's what his job is to do, is to be there to clean that up. And he was able to do it. I like it. Sar hasn't been able to do that personally. He's had a lot of shots, but none of them have gone in. But look at Skip. Go ahead.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
the reason I'm sort of bringing it up is because I myself have been a big, I love Papa Montessar, Daddy Sar, and I've been kind of often sort of saying, well, Sar's at this level, Skip's more, a bit below that, and I just sort of, want to be accountable, want to not just sort of brush it under the carpet or anything, and it's impressive what Skippy has done here. I think the first goal was, like I said, a bit of a poacher's goal where he just had good instincts and seeing the rebound. And then the second one was just a pretty good finish to him. And Papa Matasar, I think maybe has done a better job in his preseason and sort of just being involved more in the build-up play and just involved in the general play and just sort of linking things up. But at the same time, he hasn't been grabbing the goals like Skippy has today. And I do feel like Barcelona are probably the best team and that we've come up against, and it's closest to when the season's getting kicked off. So most of the teams are, pretty close to being in match ready shape to a degree as well. So a lot of that you do have to think about. And if I were to read into some of this, I would maybe go against what I've said in the past, and maybe Skippy could be proving some people wrong this season. But as I love to do, love to get ahead of myself on a bit of the hopium. Um, let's think of some other players here that maybe
Can I
should
just say something about Skippy Jack? That second goal,
go ahead.
the way he ghosted in between the two Barca defenders, the way he just knew where to go. And for me, look, when Skippy's given license to roam, I think Skippy's a very good player. Jacob is right; we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. But I think for me personally, I think we're going to see the best of Skip this season. And that second goal just summed them all up. How well he's played this in the first half.
Maybe I'll ask this before we get to Brandon Troller here. And Brandon, I have an interesting answer for you, so get ready, my friend. But I'll ask you, Jacob, this, and then maybe I'll ask Dermot if that's okay. I saw Steve D. If Steve D, you're still listening to us, and if you're still tuned in, my friend, I saw you kind of put in a comment earlier. That's a thought provoking one for sure, which is some of these players here, if not a lot of these players that are playing right now, were some of the same guys that played under an Antonio Conte, and a lot of them were made to look pretty useless, were made to look pretty incapable under Antonio Conte, but yet we're seeing some of them look pretty different to what they were. Can we read into that at all? Is that Ange's magic already taken a toll? What do you think, Jacob? Because
I
there are
think it's
players
a
like
little.
Sanchez, right, who all of a sudden look a lot better. But I would say take that with a grain of salt because he also looked useless in the game against West Ham and whatnot. So I don't know. It's interesting.
For me, Jack, I really see it this way. Like, if you're unhappy and you're playing a system that necessarily doesn't play to your best attributes, i.e., Sonny playing defense against Wilfred Zaha one on one, why are we doing that? It's things like that when you're not in a good headspace. You're not playing a system that necessarily suits anything you're good at. You're doing things opposite of what you're good at, like Sonny playing defense. And, you can get a little bit bogged down with the workload and the stress. I mean, players are human after all. They're not robots. They're not machines that just go out there and perform or, they're not. So I see it like a little bit. The shackles have been off, and then people have been given a chance to show what they can do. Again, with Sanchez, he showed us what frustrates us most with Sanchez. He's going to get turned around, beaten it from in behind, and you know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. I sort of feel like, yeah, I sort of feel like it's probably the case that certain players could look a lot better in this Ange system than maybe they might under an Antonio Conte, Steve D. But the way I see it is a lot of these guys are going to, no matter what, look kind of incompetent, or no matter what, have their weaknesses be exposed. I feel like no matter what manager is in play, I don't see Sanchez, becoming a different player under an Ange Postecoglou. In fact, I feel like his weaknesses will be exposed even more actually at the end of the day, because he is not really that great on the ball. He does sort of struggle with that ball over the top, it feels like. And that is going to be exploited in this system. He doesn't have the protection around him that he did in a defensive system. As much as people really hated the defensive systems we had in the past, it actually sort of accounted for some of the pretty bad defenders that we had. It allowed them to sort of kind of consolidate and have players around them to clean up for each other in case they made a mistake, had a loose touch, or anything like that. And when you're playing in this system, either a loose touch, a bad pass, a hospital pass gets punished, I think, a whole lot more than it did in kind of in the other system. While this still is a lot more entertaining to watch, I think we actually could still concede just as many goals. I think with Dyer and Sanchez still in this defense, no matter how well they have played tonight, at least. But that could be me being very stubborn. But that's just sort of me using, I think, a bit of a kind of experience of watching these guys in the past, of where they do seem to sort of turn it on. Certain games can maybe convince you that they can do it, and then maybe some of the more high profile games when the pressure is on, absolutely do not. But Dermatron, any kind of thoughts on maybe what Steve D brought up earlier, which is certain players that are just looking like different versions of themselves under Ange?
I think we shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves in these certain plays. They played well under Conte at the beginning, and then they reverted back to form again. Look, the likes of Dyer and Sanchez, there's always a mistake in them. You always know Dyer Sanchez is going to get turned. You always know Dyer's going to make a mistake somewhere along the line. Pre-season, there's not much pressure on the game. Then they're not really going to probably make a mistake. But like in a Premier League game where there's more pressure, there's more intense on them, that's when they start cracking. And I feel we can't trust these defenders anymore. It's okay, use them for these games, and they're always going to look good because they're always going to bust the gut for the new manager. But down the line, 5 or 6 months down the line, them two players are going to make a mistake or cost us points. How many points did it cost us last season between them two and Hugo?
Yeah.
And they were the points that stopped us getting into Europe. So look, they may look good tonight. Fair play to them, but they should not be. We should not get ahead of ourselves. They will make mistakes. They will cost us points. So I think in the long run, I think these players will not get any better because they've proved in the past they can do it for a certain amount of time, but a longer period of time they will just revert back to form again and cost us points again. We can't afford that next season.
And Brandon Troller saying, where are you watching the Brentford game, Jacko? I'll be watching it likely here because I'll still be doing this watch along, my friend. But I'll talk to Nick about it. Maybe potentially he and I could, who knows, be doing it together. And if we added a third to the party, that could be pretty fun. But sometime in definitely the near future, at least for the games afterwards, would absolutely love to meet up with you, Brandon, and maybe you could even join us for one of the watch alongs. That would be fun, and do a bit of an in-house party here. Sit on the couch, have a nice time cheering on the mighty Tottenham. Big up to you, Brandon. Appreciate your support, my friend. Hopefully you're keeping well this Tuesday. Hopefully you're keeping well. DB says, well, DB joining the Flat Cap Army. He's become a fan show member here. Big up to DB. Next fan show is Monday, and also too. There is plenty of benefits that are going to come with that this upcoming season, my friend. If you haven't checked out the link to the members, you can see a bit of an explanation of all the different stuff coming up for you this season as a member. Big up to you. Welcome to the fan show membership, my friend. Looking forward to speaking to you. Really do appreciate also your love for the channel and just sticking by us and everything. Appreciate you, my man, DB. But things have gotten kicked off here, everybody.
Yeah.
And Dermatron, if you want the link so that you can stay sync with us, let me send that to you. I'll put it in the private chat here.
Yeah,
I was
if you
doing
can.
some
Well,
Twitter.
I've got it on Spurs Play at the moment. So
Here you are. Here you are.
Okay, grand. I'll come off that and go on the link you've given me.
You
No
go into,
problem.
it's in that little
Yeah.
private chat for you, sir. Thank you, Dermot.
Oh, okay. No problem.
I was doing a little halftime Karen tweeting, replying to Spurs. Why did I spend $45 for Spurs play and I can't even watch the damn game in America? What the hell are we doing?
Yeah, you got sold one less game.
That's why I got distracted at halftime. Michael texted me. He's like, "Hey, are you watching on Spurs play on multiple devices? I can't get on." And I was like, "No, bro." So I was texting him, and then I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go reply." And then of course some people were replying, "It's on FS2, my man." And I'm like, "Bro, I don't care. I didn't pay $45 for FS2. I paid $45 for Spurs play to watch all the damn preseason matches."
No,
Sorry, I'm venting a little bit.
No, I think it is shocking. I'm very glad that Nick has helped us out here in solving that, because I also was very confused why there was nothing shown, and I don't know if Daniel Levy or even Tottenham in general gave any sort of notice or any sort of warning about that, which
Do
is
they not
also
care about their Americans? I mean, they've been shoving Spurs play down our throat all summer, and you don't even show the damn game to a huge audience where technically you have the most supporters group in this nation that we live in, Jack, and you can't even get the stream available for us. What are we doing?
And they gave you a discount as well to sign up to it today.
Oh yeah, they're like $10
Yeah.
discount to sign up
Yeah,
today,
it
but you
was. I
can't
saw
even
it
that.
won't work.
watch it.
That won't work.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry,
Barcelona
I'm
here,
focused
going
on the
down the
game
left.
now. I need to close Twitter. It's pissing me off.
Oh.
Pedro Porro showing the man the floor there. You absolutely love it.
There you go. Give him a
Alday's having a
smooch on the
tough
way
time.
out.
I've been impressed with Porro, actually. I thought he's played quite well in the first half.
A lot of people thought he was kind of responsible for that first goal,
Yeah.
and kind of the
He
defending
lost his
there.
man. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a reoccurring problem. It wasn't just on that goal; it was another time too. People that's how you beat Pedro Porro. Apparently, just send a ball over the top. He can't track it. He don't know where the man. It seems like he gets lost when he's tracking the ball in the air.
No substitutions from what I can tell, by the way, everybody. I don't see anybody new on the pitch. There could be at some stage, but no substitutions thus far.
No subs yet.
Last time we wore an all-white kit, I think was 86, 87. We finished third in the league, FA Cup runners-up, semi-finals of the League Cup. That's the last time we actually won an all-white kit.
Well, we used to in Europe.
Yeah,
but
we
you mean
used
like regularly, like as our home kit?
Yeah, in the league, yeah. It
Oh,
was,
okay.
I think 85, 86, 86, 87. I think that was the last time we actually wore all-white kit in the league.
Oh, interesting.
I could be wrong in that. Probably correct me, but that's from memory. But yeah, that was the year we lost to Coventry in that cup final. When they walked out the cup final, half the team had Holston on the kit and the other half didn't. They got mixed up with the sponsors. It was really funny.
Spurs with a goal kick here. Rafinha wiping up some Davinson defending, I guess, on him.
Some Davinson elbow juice. I think he got a free kick. Yeah, he did.
It looks like he earned a free kick. Sorry. Steve D says, this is more like the Spurs I grew up with. Rest in peace, Conte. I know you weren't the biggest Conte fan, Steve D, so it's nice that you even offered a rip to him.
Maybe,
So.
sometimes they mean that, instead of rest in pieces, it's rest in piss. So hopefully, either one works, I guess, depending on how you feel about the situation.
I don't know what Steve D. I don't want. Probably now you're giving him ideas, maybe with how he means it. But big up to you, Steve D. And as much as I have defended the defensive football of the past, Steve D, I completely understand that this sort of style is far more in line with what Spurs fans grew up with, what Spurs fans want in general, too. This is the type of Tottenham that we have always prided ourselves on being. Spurs fans have that sort of identity about being more attacking and progressive and always trying to play on the front foot. And I completely understand how we just we got disillusioned with that. And a lot of fans like yourself, who've been fans a lot longer than I have, just sort of got pissed off with that and felt like, why are we, moving away from what we've always been good at and what we've always been known to be? And while I kind of rationalized it and sort of tried to make excuses for it, for the defensive football and the defensive managers, I could see why this is just, at the end of the day, a type of style and a type of brand that unites the fan base a bit better. But a ball over the top.
Sanchez
cleaning up once again.
Sanchez.
I think that was Gavi as well, cleaning up on a ball over the top from Gavi. And those little dink passes, over the back line are just sort of our kryptonite, feels like right now.
Guess who cleaned that one up? The man of the hour, Davinson Sanchez.
Well done from Basuma, by the way,
Yeah,
everybody. Really good
calm.
job in possession.
Really
Spurs
good
breaking
composure.
Barcelona's press. They've caught them all out here.
Solomon,
Solomon.
skip and space in front of him.
Yeah.
Hit him.
Go
Oh,
on, pass it to Skippy. Missed it.
Solomon taking his time. He's found Skip out wide. Skip is offsides, and Solomon took far too long to give it to him.
The thing is, it looked like he got caught in between a thought. It seemed like he was looking for Richie or someone to cut. Look, no one across the middle. He kind of was waiting for that run down the middle. Never came. So then he too late.
He's a little reluctant to cross it from time to time, I think, Solomon, and that's because he's so good at beating his man that like he just sort of, he licks his lips, it feels like, and would rather just take on his guy. But I think sometimes he's got to whip in a few more crosses.
Yeah.
Because I think while there maybe wasn't somebody in the middle, you did see Richie sort of kind of just poking his head a little bit, poking that pigeon nose.
Pedro Porro gives it away.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
That could have been a counterattack very easily if that wasn't an errant pass. Who do we have here? Perisic. Step over. Deep in their half, though, sort of slowing it down or kind of gathering our breath here.
When do you think the first substitution will be?
I'm
thinking around the 75th minute.
Yeah.
I think around 70. Give both 11s a chance to go out there and show me what you can do with over an hour of time. Plenty of time to show something,
One thing I've noticed about the Spurs team in this preseason, how much they're really enjoying their football again. How much they're just enjoying expressing themselves. And that's something I've saw in the last few games. They've really enjoyed it, and it's lovely to see.
Oh, ball behind. No. Ooh, good. Well done by Vicario stepping out there. It was a good ball behind there for Lewandowski. Couldn't get to it.
A little worrying there. Pedro Porro, Solomon not even communicating who's getting the ball and who's getting the runner there. They both just kind of crowded the space.
Good point.
That's how you get that ball right there. I mean, if Lewandowski's one step faster, he's chipping that over.
Steve D, member for 9 months as a flat cap member. Bar Solomon, Vicario.
Go, Solomon.
Solomon's in behind here. It's a bit of time and space.
Sorry, Jack.
No. We did have a break of play there. I was just looking down even. Gio.
Come on, Gio. What is that? Bad touch. You're all right? All right. You got time?
Nice little one. Oh, Spurs.
Come on, Richie.
Shoot back, Rich. Nice bit of play from Gio. And a good whoever played that first time passing to Richie. I thought Richie was going to play it back to him. That would have been lovely. It was Reggie
again. Great pass from Reguilon.
Maybe not a bad decision for Richie to be selfish there, knowing if Reggie got that pass. But
I don't mind that shot from Richarlison. He's outside the box. He took it on the turn and he tried to curl it in the top corner. I don't mind the ambition.
And no one expected him to do that. The defenders all rolled the other way because they all did expect him to play.
Oh, come on, Basuma.
Gio earns the free kick. It is La Liga. It is a La Liga referee. We are going to get those.
Yeah. Oh.
Big up to you, Steve D, though, and saying, that these are all Conte players, Bar, Vicario, and Solomon. I don't really want to repeat myself to a huge extent, but we had a really good discussion about that at halftime, Steve D. I'm not sure if you were with us during that period, but I sort of did say, like, a few players here have been made to look a lot better or at least less useless and incompetent in this sort of system, and at least today against a pretty good opponent than they did when they were with Conte. A lot of them, though, I think that's just sort of how it is, that they can turn up in certain games and they'll punish you in the bigger ones when the pressure is on. But we had a really good conversation about it back at halftime, but I don't want to repeat myself too much on it, but it really was a good one for discussion. Big up to you,
Dyer's lining up for it. No.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's like, oh, yeah, come on, lads. I got this, Steve. He's like, I got this.
Come on, everyone's watching my doc right now on Spurs play. Just let me hit this.
Yeah. Let me have
and it's into the wall. Well done, Moonhead.
Oh my God. Get out of my club, you clown. My God. No, guys, I got this. And then he
I think
hits.
his dog could have done it better than he could, to be fair. I think his dog would have got it over the wall.
Did it pause on you guys? It's paused for me. The stream.
Yeah, it's been a bit jumpy for me. Yeah, it has paused for me.
I'm just looking at the back of Eric Dyer's head.
Yeah, I'm going
That's
back to.
not a sight anyone wants.
No, it was a bit. That was a little bit unnerving. I'm joking, but if I could be honest with you, that gave me nightmares. Look in the back of his head.
God, the way I'm glad y'all saw that too. The way he said, "I got this."
Yeah.
No. I got. You guys just don't worry, man. Eric Dyer's on the job. I got this, cowboy. All right. And then he just hits the first dude in front of him. You can't write it any better than that. He is. Oh my
That
God.
actually proves how useless he is, really, to be fair.
Don't worry, guys. I got this.
I got this. I can't defend, but I can take free kicks. Yeah, right.
Oh my God. That was hilarious. I'm kind of glad he did that because it gives me something to laugh at about him instead of being so mad.
Can somebody please come and buy him? We'll give him away for free. We'll even give you a
shipping and handling for free too. We'll pay for we'll pay for the plane to get over there.
We'll give you a free stadium tour on the Sky tour as well.
Skip and Poro got made nasty by De Jong.
Yeah, they did.
Skip won the ball, gave it away. Number 24. There it goes. Come on.
What's your thoughts on Venom, guys? On these first 3 appearances for Tottenham, have you been happy with him? Venom, that's his nickname. Me and Philip have called him Venom.
Oh my God! What a shot there from was that Pedri or Gavi? I can never tell them apart. Pedri, number 8 is Pedri, 6 is Gavi. My thoughts on Vicario. He's been all right. He's been all right. He almost saved that first goal. Hit him in the armpit. He almost got it. I like his reflexes. Had a nice save from distance. So that's a question mark that I've been waiting to see. Like, how is his vision from far? How does he? Oh no, bad pass. Basuma gets turned around. There goes Lo Celso driving it forward now. Sprays it out left for Perisic. He's at the top of the box. Oh, passes it. Lets it go to Perisic again. Swings it across the middle. Oh, Richarlison not tall enough. Solomon's corralling it though at the right. Working it back to the middle. Takes a shot on. Hits the first man. All right, and they get it out. Barcelona clears it. Sanchez. Oh, he keeps it back in play. There you go, Perisic. Shoulder the man down. I love it. And he's got it on the wing. Goes for a step over. He's swinging across the box. Oh! Was that Poro or was that Solomon that shot that first time? I like that. When that thing's sizzling across that box and you just run up to it and smash it, I love it. Oh, that's a foul. Another foul. Eric Dyer, do not take this one, please.
No, Eric Dyer, just walk away. Just
Basuma getting pulled down by
substitute
the shoulder.
him. Just substitute him now.
Look at this. What a foul. That's a yellow. That's a yellow. That is a yellow. You're stopping play intentionally. It wasn't like an accident. Yeah. That was Pedro Porro that shot that. Yeah, that was nice.
I tell you one thing. It's great to see Tottenham playing like this. We've rarely missed this. And this is the way we love seeing Tottenham playing. Just pressure and just attacking. It's great to see. See, Lo Celso and Poro laughing, I think, about Eric Dyer's shot. Is he around?
Like, yeah, Eric, you want this one too?
Yeah.
You got this?
You got this.
Yeah, don't even stand near it after that. Thank you. God.
This has been beautiful to watch.
Yeah, just go and stand in the middle of the 6-yard box there. You'll be good there. Just stay there.
Spurs, Perisic recovers off a free kick. Goes out for a goal kick, but all over Barcelona right now. Still all over Barcelona. I think
here they come.
Forced to make some substitutions here. And to be honest, I think they're weakening themselves with some of these substitutions. I think if we keep some of these boys on, we could be grabbing the third here. We could be getting the win in their own house.
Yeah. Has Perisic pulled his hamstring, has he?
He's grabbing at it.
Yeah, he is. Well, Xavi was always going to make changes with Barcelona's first game at the weekend anyway, so there was always going to be big changes.
Yeah, but this is a good time then to be 2-1 up,
Yeah,
if you ask me,
it is.
because I think a lot of these changes are going to be weakening them, and it's
Here comes
interesting that.
Fati. Here comes Ansu Fati. Sorry, Jag.
And
Ansu
as
Fati.
well, Postecoglou hasn't made changes yet, which is also more interesting. Gundogan.
Look, lads, we could be.
You said they're weakening themselves. They
Yeah,
look like
I
they're
did
getting
say
a
they're
little
weakening
beefy.
themselves, but I guess I forgot that they have Gundogan now to replace Gavi and Pedri. That is quite.
We could be pre-season cup double champions at the end of this game. Now, there you go. There's something to get an open top parade done from when they come back.
Oh, they decided to name this as a cup?
Yeah.
It is a cup.
kind?
Yeah, some
It
kind
is
of
a cup,
Barcelona
yeah.
historical. I know it's like some dude in their history they named it after.
I think he was a player back in the 50s, I think, Jacob. I think 50s and 60s, I think.
So then if we win this, can we then make it the Dave Mackay trophy or something like that?
Yeah.
Dermot, just rename it?
Just rename it the Dave or the Danny Blanche.
The L Mackay.
Yeah. Dave Mackay, what a player.
Good press from Solomon there.
I wish we had a Dave Mackay in our team now.
The L Perryman trophy.
Yeah. See, that's what I've always said. Tottenham of the past always had more than one captain on the pitch, especially with the 80s side. You had about 4 or 5 different players that were captain material. And if you made a mistake, they will all tell you made a mistake. We need to be like that team, this Spurs team. We need to be nasty. We need to be, well, nastier. We're too nice. And one thing, Mourinho, I've always agreed with him. We were too nice as a side. We need to be nastier, I think.
A lot of space.
Oh, good space for Marcus Alonso here. They have a chance of scoring. Sanchez! Oh, I think he actually defended it.
He did. It's a corner.
Oh,
corner. He did defend
first
it.
I thought he didn't track that well, but then he was able to make a great recovery tackle, unless Ferran Torres just skied that. It's hard to tell. I guess we'll find out.
Who is this Sanchez fella?
Well done,
Sanchez.
Sanchez. Well done. Great recovery tackle.
Jesus, Sanchez is either playing like someone's watching or he's trying to get his place back.
Well, what's funny is that he's still like slightly ropey, but he's recovering so well, like each time, like from, making a bad judgment. And he's been a lot better on the ball too than I think Dyer even has. He's just been better than Dyer. It's just been a lot better than Eric Dyer has. It's been impressive. And Spurs are, like Tyler is saying in the chat, we are in a way out Barcelona-ing Barcelona.
Yeah. I wonder if Van just told Sanchez you're playing for your career tonight. Prove to me you deserve.
Or if you said there's going to be some Spanish scouts if you're still trying to go to La Liga, my friend, since you didn't want to go to Russia.
Mind you, and you'd be a bit mad to go to Russia at the moment, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. I personally didn't want to force him on that move myself.
No. Said Eric Dyer's to Russia.
Oh, they get done up.
Romeo plays it to Frankie de Jong here. Out wide to Marcus Alonso. Back to Frankie. Barcelona having what has been a while, a bit of possession now deep in our half. Spurs struggling to get rid of it. Well done, Reggie. Good composure. Spurs were able to nod it back to Vicario. What is the attitude, Moonhead?
He's like, pass it right there. Yeah. Somebody please take him off. Just take him off, please. And him wearing the captain's armband as well. That's a disgrace.
Yeah, let me see Ashley Phillips. I'm done with Dyer, man. Let me see Ashley Phillips. Wow, Dyer. Great defending, Dyer.
I can hear Bill Nick rolling in his grave here, and Eric Dyer's got the captaincy.
Nick reminding me that I don't need to call them Barcelonians. I can call them Catalonians. Yeah, that is quite convenient. They actually do have a name for themselves, don't they?
Yeah, we're very much in Ireland, very much for their freedom. That's just all I'm going to say. Us Irish know all that's about.
I would like to see some subs in the next 5 minutes, personally.
Yeah.
I want to see some of these. I mean, Jed Spence is on the bench for the first time ever. Let me see him.
Ooh, chance here for Barcelona might score here.
But Sanchez said, no, sir, you shall not pass.
He's really doing a great job in this sort of last minute defending.
Gundogan
I've
with a
just been
great
told
ball.
I've been told if he doesn't play well, he doesn't get paid. So that's why he's playing so well
Is
for
that
the
another
Chelsea.
block off of Sanchez?
Yeah.
Might be
It
another corner
is.
for Barcelona. That's
It
impressive.
absolutely is.
Is he
Man's
playing his
playing
way?
out of his freaking mind today.
I just asked you guys a question. Is he playing his way into the game on Sunday?
No,
I
too
mean,
much
he's playing
history.
a good. He's doing all right at the left center back, and that's
It's hard though because like yes, he's had a great game today, but then he was absolutely atrocious against
for
West
that
Ham, and he
first.
Yeah,
cost us like he
He was
cost us
also at fault
goals.
for that first goal.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, he was partially at fault, and then Pedro Porro too. Like I don't want to be too hard on
No,
him because
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
usually am very hard on him, so I don't want to be too far, gone. But at the same
No,
time, like I feel like I look at the West Ham game where he was the complete opposite of this. Like he couldn't even make a 5-yard pass to Emerson at one stage. Remember, he played a 5-yard pass out of bounds. That's the Sanchez, and you could see that when you bring him on in games too. Like when we've had injuries and we bring him on in the second half, he takes 30 minutes just to be able to make a 6-yard pass, like to warm up into the game.
But
So
to
it's
defend,
just it's
yeah,
interesting. It's interesting. We're just getting
it
a
is.
complete different version of him, and I agree with Bald Bean Counter. Who are what have you done with Davinson Sanchez? I completely agree. This is just his cousin, his twin brother, and I'm loving it.
Perisic. I love it.
Absolutely clattered.
That's the
Who's that?
same guy who needed
Garcia?
a Heimlich in the box.
Eric Garcia. That guy's one of the most overrated
Look at this.
defenders.
Look at, they're showing live. Here it is. Watch this. Boom!
Boom.
Sit your ass down. I like it. A little
Fair
bit
play
of
to Perisic.
yeah, a little bit of seasoned seniority there, giving him a cheeky little shoulder. Good job there, Pedro Porro and Solomon on the touch, not touchline, on the sideline there.
Do you know what? I'm really changed my mind in Perisic about keeping him just for this season. You know.
Yeah,
No,
he's got
he's been
quality. The
productive.
main problem with him was always his defending, right?
Yeah.
So as a left wing backup, I like it.
Mm.
The thing is, we need depth. Say that again.
He's been very productive, and
Yeah.
he's probably been the most productive of most of the wingers thus far. He works hard defensively, and he also is just creative, and he pretty much is the guy that does exactly what Ange needs in those wide areas, which is just taking on his man, whipping in the crosses, being creative, just standing out wide, keeping the width. He just does exactly what Ange needs out there, and he makes sense for this system, even despite the wages. So at first, I thought it wasn't realistic to keep him around, but if it is
Good
possible,
job.
I would do it. Well done, Solomon, winning it back for us here.
Solomon's looking bright, man.
Yeah.
Pedro, Skippy, Spurs breaking it. Well done, Basuma.
And he got the
Play
foul.
on, Gio.
Oh,
It was the ref. Ref blew the whistle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's technically the ref's fault for not letting us play the advantage.
Well done by Basuma there. Spurs breaking the press very well.
3 on him. Yeah.
Ooh.
How many times have they grabbed his right shoulder and pulled him down today?
Paul Markey defending his like Dave here. He said Skip is still a waste of space, period, or is a pure waste of space, period. Today, Skippy, I think, is definitely questioning some of the doubters like us, Paul. I think today he's grabbed the goals, and it's hard to ignore that. I would say he's not been nearly as influential or as involved in sort of the overall build-up play and possession that Sarr is, but grabbing the goals in the way he has is, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. But I'm still going to be more in kind of the doubter kind of a doubter camp, if you will, than I am going to be in the guy that's going to think he's going to be able to make it in the system. But I don't know. He's still very young, and I can't harp on him after today. Grabbing 2 goals, grabbing a brace, the 2 goals that we've scored. It's hard, it's you got to give him credit for it for sure.
I think as a squad player, Jack, I think he'd be great for the season. I think for coming
now on the right. I don't know why.
I think Skippy will be a great squad player, but look, he's got a lot to do to convince a lot of Spurs fans that he is the player that we all know he can be.
Perisic wants to come out. That's why he's shoving everybody. He's literally dropped. That's the third person in the last 10 minutes he's dropped the elbow on. I love it. And he's on now. I saw him on
He's
the
trying to
right.
earn the first ever Barcelona preseason red card. It seems like
Yeah.
he's really trying to get sent off. Barcelona with a corner here. Cleared away by Spurs.
Maybe Ange won't take him off. So, right, I'm going to take it in my own hands here.
They whip it in again. Well done. Ooh, Vicario trying to move things quickly. Gio. Gio getting lucky there.
They give him the old parasite. Here we go, Jed Spence.
Yeah.
Jed Spence opportunity. Alfie Devine, who looks like
Jetty.
is warming up too.
Can the Jedi use this Jedi magic when he comes on?
This could be some of the Jedi's last ever minutes for Spurs.
I think so.
Man, I really want this kid to be good. I do. It just so far hasn't seemed to be the thing, but
I mean, it's not a good sign that he's not impressing Ange.
No, this would be now the fourth manager who does not like what he has to offer. I mean, he doesn't even sprint out on the field; he just walked out. But
anyway, Perisic got
Alfie
come off.
Devine.
Yeah, and Skippy's coming off as well.
Big opportunity for Jed though
like the headband.
to prove some haters wrong, to prove some doubters wrong, and it looks like he's going to be slotting straight into right back, or no, maybe more of a right wing.
No, Devine's the right wing. It looks like. Was it for Solomon?
Yeah. I'm seeing, and Pedro Porro still on the pitch.
He is. Yeah.
So where's Jed playing?
I think Jed is playing on the wing. I think. Or they may have switched.
Yeah, Pedro Porro still at right back. Pedro Porro still at right back, and maybe Spur. Yeah, Jed's playing on the right, playing as
almost looks like a 4-4-2 now.
Yeah, it could be more of a 4-4-2.
It kind of looks like a 4-4-2. The way we were just
at one stage.
Yeah.
Big up to you, Brandon Troller with the super chat. He says Davinson Maldini. If Van de Ven's not fit for Sunday, toss Sanchez in. This is the start of the Sanchezian redemption arc. He and Balotelli will ride off into the sunset, holding hands in a warm embrace. Brandon, absolutely would love to have what you're on right now, my man. And I'm loving that you've somehow invented another redemption arc for us, because, you know, the Gio Lo Celso redemption arc is well underway, but a Davinson Sanchez redemption arc, I'm not too sure. But it could be something to think about if this move for him to leave never ends up happening, and him and some of the other usual suspects that we don't want to stick around do end up sticking around. Could Sanchez be the guy that ends up making a better impression for Postecoglou than the others? I don't think so. I don't think that will happen, but he's had a spectacular game. I can't take that away from him. And he's had a much better game than I think Eric Dyer has, both in possession, defensively, everything. He's been one of the players of the match, if not one of the man of the match. So it's hard to, I don't know. It's just been this great game from Sanchez, but a redemption arc, I'm not too sure, my friend. I'm not too sure. But Van de Ven, I hope, is ready to go Sunday. If he's not,
Sanchez,
maybe. I don't know. I'd still go with Davies probably at left-sided center back. Davies, though, has not been convincing at all, so I don't say that with a lot of confidence.
Well, we're still going in for Tap Sober as well, so we can't rule that one out as well.
But it may be more likely then with Van de Ven just joining us that maybe he would then play it. But I would say right now, nobody has convinced at left-sided center back. Tanganga did not. I don't think Dyer would. I don't think Rodon would. And for the most part, I don't think Davinson Sanchez would. But I guess Sanchez has been the best. At least today he has. But he also then played on the right, and he was atrocious against West Ham.
I mean, for me, Sanchez at the pair of them has been better than Dyer. Dyer's been useless today. He really has been bad. And you can see when Dyer's bad when he starts pointing and shouting at people, because he's trying to deflect how bad he is.
He's been doing that all match, yelling and screaming. This formation's really tripping me out right now, because Jed is kind of pressing up, but then whenever we don't have possession, he kind of drops it back and then makes it look, Because it looks like almost Divine and Richarlison are a double striker. Okay, well, we're changing now.
Looks like
Doesn't it
Dane Scarlett coming on for Richarlison here, everybody. Another opportunity for Dane.
does it look like a 4-3-3 and then a 4-4-2 in defence? Do you know when we're defending and then when we're attacking, we switch into a 4-3-3?
It's interesting. I wonder how it's going to shape now with Dane Scarlett.
It's great to see him getting some minutes as well, Dane Scarlett as well.
Because look how high up Alfie Divine is.
Yeah.
Nice throw in from Region. Could we get him behind here?
He's got fresh legs.
Yes.
Good throw in from Region. It could have been an opportunity there. Spurs in possession. Lovely little dink from Basuma there to keep possession and break this Barcelona press. Alfie Divine out wide to Jet Spence here. The Jedi. Nice. He plays in Pedro Porro.
Ooh.
Everybody's everywhere. Like now Porro's making overlaps. Like I don't need who. It's like we have 3 right backs on the pitch. Alfie Divine is playing deep. You have Pedro Porro playing deep, and you have Jedi playing deep, but they're all just overlapping.
It was like I don't know, Jacob, if you ever saw, but the Italian teams of the 70s, no, the Holland team of the 70s, where everyone just played in everyone's position. It was just total football. Spurs. I mean, it's great to see, isn't it, Tottenham playing like this? It really is a joy to see.
Not Perisic. Lo Celso's corners have been.
They haven't been great, have they?
No.
Mike is another player that's impressed me now this preseason, Lo Celso, to be fair. Oh. Comes Barcelona. Tottenham get it back again.
Sanchez.
Go on, Spurs.
Sanchez won that ball nicely.
It did.
Ball over the top to nobody.
Oh. Please do not give it to Eric Dyer.
Jack, I don't hear you. I see you talking, but I don't.
We can't hear you, Jack.
There's Jedi. He's got the ball. He's standing. There's Divine with the ball now.
Yeah. I may be a little bit behind you, Jacob, because the link you gave is not working at all for me. So I've had to go back to Spurs play. So I'm probably a few seconds behind you here.
Ooh, nice pass.
It is.
Solomon had a nice pass. Solomon went to the left, it looks like.
Yeah. Solomon.
Yeah.
Jedi. Divine. Jedi. Beautiful pass from Jedi.
Oh.
Solomon inside the box. Basuma. Oh, sir! Love.
What great build-up by Spurs.
Look, Basuma wants this one. Gio saying, let me take it. He said, back your ass up. This is mine. Everyone back up. This is mine. I won that. Look at that. Tippy toe. Get the foul. That's my free kick. Come on, Basuma. Show everyone why you need to be on free kicks.
Eric Dyer's coming up. Don't worry. It said, this is mine. I'm ready for this. This is my moment.
Guys, I have the captain's armband. Move out of my way.
Yeah.
Fucking guy. The way he just so nonchalantly, don't worry, I got this.
Yeah.
And then just hit the first dude in front of him with the ball.
Jacob, that's going to be me for the whole season now. I've got this.
I got this. And then proceed to not got it.
Yeah. It's the most funniest thing I've seen.
I want them to show the Spurs players. Oh, now Pedro Porro's lining up over it.
Oh,
dang. Wow. I'm curious how that conversation went. Because Basuma was like, telling Giovanni Lo Celso, for lack of better words, to go F off about it. Lo Celso and Porro.
Maybe they did a Dyer. I've got this now.
What the hell was that, Gio?
Oh. I don't want Gio on any set pieces and at any. It's just
what the hell
no set pieces for Gio.
Bro.
It's just, it has no chance. It's just pathetic. This is the part of Gio that I just don't get. This is the part of Gio I never get.
Because you're getting a full dose of Gio, not just 45 minutes, right? All the times that we're
Yeah.
saying he was so impressive, and granted, he was impressive in those little blurts, but you can see when you get full match from Gio, he's going to do what he's always done, and that's, I guess, argue for
Yeah,
a
but
free.
then this is what I've been trying to say about Sanchez, I guess, for the last, matches, that, one good game from Sanchez doesn't mean they've
Oh,
scored.
tap in.
Vicario is absolutely livid.
This little kid,
It's
who is that
Desmond
guy?
2-2. And the kids have scored. Ferran Torres whips it into, or Ferran Torres might have been the scorer there.
He was
Right,
a scorer, but that guy who just subbed in on the right wing, I don't know who that is, but he looks about 15 years old.
Can I just say,
He just
Eric
tore us
Dyer
apart.
could have cut that out if he tried. He just stood there and let the ball go in front of him.
A bit of
I mean,
a goal
seriously.
against the run of play, I must say, too. I mean,
Yeah.
Spurs have been all over Barcelona and probably should have scored a third at some stage.
Let's see. Ball over
And
the top. Who was that out there? No one's
it's
back.
Reguilon getting caught out.
What do you know?
Questionable whether
Eric
he was
Dyer
behind the ball.
Dyer couldn't even get there. He just watched him,
He
just
just
enjoying
watched it. He just
the
watched it.
sport.
Yeah.
Not even a foot out or nothing, just
I know.
enjoying the game. What a
Can
beautiful
please-
sport we get to watch, right?
Can please somebody take him off and take the captain's arm?
Yeah,
What is
that's
he
actually
doing?
that's actually Moonhead. That's a classic Moonhead. Just literally
It
lets
is.
it go past. That's his favorite thing to do, Moonhead.
Yeah.
It's just let a header or an easy clearance just go right over his head, go right past him, and he never seems to think that there's a guy there. Why does he always think there's never a striker there to tap it home? He always thinks there's no one there, or he thinks that there's somebody right next to him to clean it up for him when he's the last man, when he's the center back. I simply don't get it. It's actually one of his biggest tendencies, is to just let pretty dangerous balls into the box just go simply right past him. He just lets them go right by him. But he does that like constantly. He did that. I remember even one of the first goals we conceded. I mean, and Romero, I remember Romero when he first started playing for us, got blamed for a goal we conceded against Newcastle when Callum Wilson scored. And it was actually Moonhead that just continues to let players.
Let's up right there.
Yeah.
Bro, run through the
He's such a fucking Moonhead.
Please, just don't play for us. Just say you got a hamstring or something like that. I don't want you anywhere near the first team. You're an idiot.
oh my God.
I mean,
Actually, I agree with Jacob. What he said today is after tonight's performance, I think you sooner let Davinson Sanchez stay and let Dyer go than you would ever. I mean, Dyer is just he's looked worse than Davinson Sanchez.
Clueless.
That just says enough. That just says enough out loud. He's looked worse than Davinson Sanchez tonight.
I mean, he's been useless. He's been more than useless. When's anyone going to cop on? He cannot defend.
He should have thrown himself out. That Steve D. We could have probably.
Oh, what a save.
We could have probably been a bit more clinical with some of the chances we had earlier. But that being said, it's just classic. The defense just continuing to let us down. But
Let's bring Phillips
I don't
on.
know. We've been running the game for the most part. It's just always sad, Steve D, that we just get let down by our defense all the time when we even have a good game, when we even are dominating. It's disappointing. It's frustrating.
Will this go to penalties, guys, if this ends in a draw?
I guess if it's for a cup of some kind.
You might just go straight to PK.
Yeah,
I guess so. Certainly wouldn't allow Moonhead to take one.
No, he'd probably go up. I've got this.
Ah, shit. He's not getting up.
No.
6 received fouls. I appreciate that. They've been keeping track of that.
Yeah, they showed that for Richarlison earlier. It was 4. And I was like, some of those fouls on Richarlison, I don't know. Those are La Liga fouls. To me, I like in the Premier League, kind of whenever you're pushing your back. This guy, Lamine Yamal, he looks about 16 years old. Who is that kid? Wow.
How do you solve the Dyer problem, guys? Actually, how do we solve it? Because
you can't.
You if I had a piece of paper right now, I'll show you what you do. You rip up his contract and say Auf Wiedersehen. Better start learning Chinese, buddy.
He has too many friends at the club. He has too many friends at the club. He's far too protected.
That's where it's wrong.
That's
the problem. That's where the problem lies there. There's too much cliques within the club. And the likes of Dyer and players like that get away with it every season.
Barcelona kiddos causing us a bit of
All
trouble.
kinds of problems.
Fucking defend instead of pointing at people, you dip.
That kid, man, he's 60. He is 16 years old. I just looked. He's 16 years old. I told you he looked 15, 16. I called it. Wow. That kid is 16 years old. And he's just tearing. He got the assist to Ferran Torres. So he's
Barca have always had a great academy, though.
Yeah. Adama Traore went to that academy, FYI.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had obligatory. I had to say it.
Well, I think Spanish football in general, they look after their younger players.
Oh, good save from Vic. I think that was a free kick from Marcos Alonso, top of the box. Absolutely, it was a really well hit.
You see that, Lo Celso? You were standing right
Didn't do
there.
too
That's
great
how
on the
you
wall
take a
there,
free
Lo
kick.
Celso. Yeah, you got to be disciplined.
He literally turned away from it.
But then also went to his left shoulder, went kind of sort of past his left shoulder, which means he kind of let it go through the middle, too.
I'm so done with Lo Celso. I hope today proves.
Yeah, not his best performance, I would say.
I like Ken Hoddle's comment. It says kidnap him. Kidnap Dyer.
Give him the Matt Doherty treatment. I thought Mr. Paul O'Keefe said that we were supposed to be ripping up contracts for a ginormous rebuild. And I ain't seen one contract ripped up. And I got look at him. He's standing right there with his hands on his hips.
To be fair, taking a knock. You got to give credit to Doherty when you do. He did actually help in that contract being ripped up. So you got
you got a fat payday. Yeah. I mean, you get paid out. That's not a bad deal. Now he's back at Wolves where he's comfortable being average on an average team. That's fine.
I hope this isn't serious and this is only precautionary. Basuma being taken off the pitch here. He had a knock earlier, everyone.
He looks a little uncomfortable, yeah.
And he looks a little disappointed.
Yeah. But here comes our new star boy, Papa Matisar.
Papa Star. He's got a smile on his face.
I love this kid, man. I love this kid.
He's the little brother of the whole team. Everybody seems to love him.
Yeah. He's like, he's got immaculate vibes, man. I love that kid.
He's going to be playing a deeper role too. He's, like I said, maybe at one stage, it seems like Papa Sarr is sort of a guy that can plug into almost all the positions in this midfield. He could either play Madison's role if really need be, if we were desperate. He could play Basuma's if we're desperate, and he can play the number 8, which he's been playing for a while too.
Get him, Spence. Show Ainge something, Spence. Hey, nice. Is that Alfie Devine?
Yeah, I think it was.
That stole that cut that out. Scarlett, a little slow. I'd like to see a little bit more burst from him.
Well, we really haven't got much to him, to be fair, Jacob. Do you know, we've sort of been pinned back now for the last few minutes.
Well, that little pass, that threaded pass that Devine, he stole it and threaded it through to Scarlett, and it looked like he couldn't beat the man on the turn, but it just, a little bit of burst right there. Maybe he needs to do some cone drills.
Pape looking saucy on the ball already. Region, nice pass into Devine, I think. Solomon.
Yeah.
Nice, Solomon.
Go on, Solomon.
Have a hit, Solomon.
They
locked it up. They know they did the scouting report.
Oh, come on, Spence. Do something with it. Show Ainge something right now, please, Spence. Okay, that's
getting stuffed.
That's not showing. I mean, he showed Ainge something. He did what I asked. He did show Ainge something right there.
It shows him that he's not in my team. It looks like he could be going back to Nottingham Forest as well. The
16-year-old has absolutely wrecked us here. They're in behind Barca. They've scored a third.
Dyer.
We had this game in complete control. Ansu Fati scores there. That was honestly, though, led again from that 16-year-old. He absolutely ruined Region on the left. And then it was might have been one of the midfielders. Might have been Gundogan who played Ansu Fati in behind there.
Dyer again got turned.
Twice. He was like, wait, I'm so done watching him. I'm so done.
Probably asked him, can I have your shirt? What was that? Can I have your shirt? Oh, sorry, you're gone.
Have your shirt. Yeah, maybe when the freaking game's over, dude. This
Yeah.
kid
He's
destroy. Oh, nasty! Took his
Absolutely
lunchbox.
mixed Reggie there.
Yeah, yeah.
Plays it
Oh,
inside, Reggie and Sanchez.
does that mean he
Dyer's just
technically
a
gets
no man's land. We just don't know where he is. He just lets him go by.
just
Why is
let
he else? He's just been walking all over the pitch as well.
Vicario's pissed?
yeah.
So much
It's on
space,
the inside of
Dyer.
Dyer. It's right. It is on the inside of Dyer.
Bro, he sucks so bad. I'm sorry. He's such ass cheeks. I'm so done with this average footballer acting like he deserves a place at this
Average
fucking
is
club, man.
complimentary. Average is very kind at this stage. He's been culpable almost all the goals. He's not
for
been in
Jesus
any
Christ.
way what people give him credit for too, Dyer, is they say he's good enough on the ball to be in this system. He's not in any way shown at any point this preseason that he's good enough on the ball to be in this system. In fact, I would say Sanchez today is shown to be better on the ball than Dyer has. It's and the defending is just another issue in its own. He's actually shown he can't make the simple tackles, the simple interceptions. He doesn't read the game. He just sort of sits there and does pretty much nothing, and that he's just a spectator. He loves to just sort of spectate as a defender. He doesn't ever want to engage. He doesn't ever want to actually get in there and get stuck in.
He's just such a fan of the game. He just can't stop watching the fucking ball and not playing and participating. I think he forgets that he's supposed to be out there doing something. And instead, he's just strolling around like maybe he's meant to be a referee. You know, he's just always in the way and clogging the space and not doing anything for the game. But
A
maybe
real
that's
telling sign is when that documentary, when he said that his favorite defender he learned from said to him that you can have a good game just by talking a lot, like in a match. And it's like, well, that just says a lot. That just says a
when
lot
was
about
that?
what you think.
I didn't make it 10 minutes into that Dyer document. I can't lie. I tried, but I couldn't. Oh, here they are, Barcelona again.
And they've
Across
scored a
the
fourth.
box, another
They've
one.
scored a fourth.
Yeah.
Wow. There you
There
go.
it is.
We've had a pretty great game. I'd say we probably were the better team for almost 70% of it. And
This kid, man.
it's the same problems we had under Antonio Conte. This defense is just going to get ripped up. We can be the better team for 70% of the match, but this defense will get ripped apart.
Well, at least this won't be the defense that starts on fucking Sunday.
Let's fucking hope not.
And there's
Truly
Dyer
does my
again.
head in,
Point.
man.
There's Dyer fucking
Just
pointing
watching, just watching.
Not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong.
And he's gonna throw his hands up. What are we doing? I'm the captain. Let me have a free kick.
Yeah, that's
No,
right. He's
Jake.
been the captain of this match. You wouldn't have known it.
No. Jacob, Ruby, leave it to me. Like he's an Italian hitman or something. Yeah.
Seth
I've got this.
Seth A with a super chat from a while ago saying, man, seeing Arsenal sign Raya really hurts. Sorry I didn't get to this sooner, but it's just we've been conceding goals left and right since you sent that in, Seth. I'm not as disappointed about missing out on Raya as others are. I also have confidence in Vicario because the way I see it is Hugo Lloris was so shocking last season, both in possession and just in making simple saves, that Vicario is automatically, I think, going to do better, even if he isn't even going to be that great in his first season. And you also have to give time to goalkeepers. Most goalkeepers do not hit the ground running straight away. Look at some of the best goalkeepers for certain clubs. They didn't even have great debut seasons. I'm pretty sure that was the case with David De Gea. If I'm not mistaken, maybe even like a Pepe Reina for Liverpool didn't have one of the best first, sort of incoming seasons as well. A lot of, especially foreign keepers need that time. But match is over here, everybody. We'll stop it there. 4-2 Spurs. I was pretty happy with performance. Still am pretty happy with performance. I'm going to kind of go back to what I said in the beginning when it looked like we were going to be conceding a lot of goals, that I'm not going to learn much from seeing Dyer and Sanchez together. But it ended up being probably the reason we lost this game, is maybe the combination of the two. I would say Sanchez, though, had a pretty good game at the end of the day, so I don't want to lump him into it. But I mean, I don't know, lads. I thought it was a pretty decent performance for a good portion of it and a good chunk of it, but it's hard to get super excited when the same issues are hitting this team right now, which is that defense. Like, we could play a pretty great game, but we will get undone by defensive errors. So, Jacob, I'll go to you first. Thoughts on that?
I don't know I don't remember what the question was, but as far as my thoughts on the game,
I don't know if there
think
was one.
I'm just, bro. I had to take a second after that goal before the last one, the second to last one, it really stressed me out because just again, these players showing they don't care, man. Gio doesn't care. Eric Dyer doesn't care. They're just walking around collecting their paycheck and make sure I'm here for the right amount of time before I clock out. It's just weak. Weak. I'm actually more angry now than I was seeing the lineup, and that's pretty shocking because that's a feat in itself. Um,
Mm.
I'm just I really I'm again, this is what we always see, but like instantly, I don't normally talk instantly after a game. And so like I'm really, really upset. And I'm trying to not say stuff incoherently just because I'm pissed. But again, how long and how many times do we have to see Eric Dyer not give a shit on the pitch until we say this guy's not good enough? And there's still people on Twitter who defend this guy. And I don't understand it.
It feels like there were a lot of positives, but it's just hard to finish on that sort of note for me. I but like I'll go back to what I said in the beginning, which is I don't know how much I can read into or really take from Dyer and Sanchez starting. I don't think, or at least I hope, is that's not going to be the lineup going into this Brentford match. But it still does show that there's a huge gap between what we need in that defense in order for this system really to work. Because we can have a pretty great game, but we can still get undone by silly defensive
Mm.
errors and just pretty lackluster defending. And it can be pretty easy for most teams to score against us, even if they haven't been that great for the majority of the game. Like we can watch a team like Barcelona be pretty much the worst side for, like I said, I would say the majority of the match and still end up scoring 4 goals like on the day, still end up scoring 4. So it's tough. I think there are a lot of positives to take from this, but
And the
Dermot,
last
it's a tough one. Or yeah, Jacob, finish. Yeah, what were you
The,
gonna say?
the last 3 goals came in the last 10 minutes of that match. It's literally, it wasn't
It's
anything
a
but us
sour taste.
switching off. It's literally, we played, like you said, 70% of that match, we were in charge. We were playing well. We were doing things. We're sitting here talking, who's this man wearing number 6? This new signing we didn't know we had. And now we're sitting here to just bro, this is the problem with our players, with the mentality, the weak loser mentality we have built in this locker room in the past 9 going on 10 seasons now. This is an accumulation of that. We're seeing the product of that. And I don't mean to be overly negative because there were a lot of positives I saw today. But obviously right now what's sticking up my like a hair in the back of my neck is the fact that these players switch off. Sergio Reguilon showed me exactly what he's always shown me. Shit defensively. He can go forward. He can pass a ball into the box very nicely. He had a great first assist today. But outside of that, he's just shocking defensively. He can't ever be in the right position. Even if he uses his speed and athletic ability to get back into a position, he can't defend. He cannot defend. And we have a serious problem with man, I'm struggling right now. I love you boys. I'm so glad you let me on this watch along. I'm just trying to woosah this jersey. Normally I get 2 wears out of a shirt before I wash it, but this one's definitely going in the wash straight after.
Oh,
It's
that's how it is with the
it's
watch
got some
alongs, believe me.
sweat, a
A
lot
lot
of
of
sweat
stress and
on it.
anxiety goes into it. I'm pretty positive. I'm pretty happy about it. I just sort of been left with a sour taste in my mouth after seeing us kind of concede that way, because it just sort of reminds me of the lack of outgoings, the lack of business that we've done, where we do have to still watch these guys in case there is going to need to be some sort of rotation. Let's say one of our center backs do get injured. One of these suspects will get thrown into the lineup, and we might have to get thrown into this emotional circle again. I am going to be positive, though. Like I said, and I've repeated 1,000 times, I thought we were the better team for the majority of the game. It was really impressive to see us start really rocky, but then all of a sudden kind of just take control. Maybe that just had a lot to do with nerves, or it also could do part of the fact maybe players like Dyer that still just didn't play that well for the majority of the match. But it did feel like for the, we were the better team. It's just that these guys will hurt you no matter what, and we could be the worst team for the majority, or we could be the better team for the majority of the game, but we can still concede goals sort of like that out of nowhere because of particular players. But I think it's not really something we didn't know. Like we sort of did know that with these guys. I'm not all that surprised by Dyer shit in the bed in that manner. I'm pretty positive about it. I'm just kind of a little bit saddened that we couldn't finish on a real high. It feels like a sour taste in your mouth sort of thing. But yeah, I'm going to be, for the most part, take a lot of positives from it and take some good things out of it. But I can see why. I don't know. Like I was absolutely delighted until watching those goals go in, and I'm like I said, and we'll say very positive and a lot of good things to take from it. But it does leave a sour taste in your mouth. That's for sure. Dermatron, anything that you would say on the performance? Are you kind of like Jacob here, where you just felt like it was, in a way, just leaves, like he said, kind of the hairs on the back of his neck are sort of standing up right now because he's just frustrated seeing it in that way.
Yeah. Look, I agree with both you, but I also agree with you, Jack, that there was positives to take out of this game. We were the better side for 70 minutes. But again, I agree with Jacob. Our defensive capabilities, our defensive naiveness of making mistakes. And Eric Dyer, please, for anyone that's holy, if there is a God in heaven, if there is Moses up there, if there's Jesus, Moses, anybody, please just make him stop playing top football. He cannot defend. He was at fault for two of them. Reglon as well, I agree with Jacob. I mean, he cannot defend. Porro cannot defend either. He needs to be played as a winger. Sanchez, I think, is the only one that comes out with a little bit of credibility tonight because he did play well, but I think he's playing for his move. But again, Jack, it's only pre-season, and we there's a lot of positive. Basuma played well, Richarlison played well, Solomon played well. So there's a lot of positive. But Eric Dyer, for anything that is holy, please just go. For the love of God, go.
You could take a positive in that a lot of the players that might have been played today, you would hope, were being given a last chance to impress Ange type of scenario. At least I would hope that's the case with some of them, that they're probably already on the fringes with Ange Postecoglou, and this was an opportunity for them to maybe prove something to him, prove him wrong in any way. But there's a positive in that maybe certain players kind of proved him either right or wrong. Like if he had maybe a bit of hope that Eric Dyer could make it in this situation, Eric Dyer has proven him wrong or right that he definitely isn't good enough. You look at other players that maybe were on the fringes, like I would say a Pedro Porro. He gave up that one goal, but started to look more positive in others. Perisic, I think we've said today, like has looked good in every single match he's played in, and is probably almost worth the huge wages that he's on to keep on the bench. This was, I think, for the most part, a Barcelona. I wouldn't say it's their strongest team, but for the most part, they did have, I think, their best midfield, close to their best attack. And maybe the one part that was sort of missing was that defense, because I feel like guys like Eric Garcia aren't normally the defenders that they would be fielding, but they did have a pretty strong defense and a decently, strong team in general. And Spurs, I thought, didn't really have their strongest team. I think there were a lot of players that were missing from this team that we wouldn't really, or a lot of players that started tonight that we wouldn't really consider to be starters, and we probably thought would be kind of out the door by now. So I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty impressed with the majority of the performance. I'm just left with a sour taste in my mouth. That's how I would put it. I felt like Spurs were really kind of proving me wrong at one stage, and especially kind of with the way we were defending. I really was being proven wrong. But then towards the end, I think we were all proven right with the fact that we will still concede goals in a similar way, and the similar problems will come through. But I'm very impressed by even us sort of taking control of the game with how poor we even started. In the first 10 minutes, we looked very rocky, and then all of a sudden we grab control and look like the better team for majority of the game. So it's interesting. It feels like Ange Postecoglou is making an impact. His football is coming through, his style of play is coming through, and a lot of players are getting something from it. But I don't know. I'm kind of just left a bit frustrated with it ending that way, but I'm also left positive because it's still another pretty, it was a good game to watch, and it was nice to see us actually string some passes around Barcelona's press, and it was nice to make them look pretty silly and make them look, pretty out of ideas at times too. So that's all
I think also Ange got an awful lot of answers tonight from this game. I think he's got a hell of a lot of answers on players' attitudes, and he won't stand for that. At Celtic, he didn't stand for it, and he won't stand for it at Tottenham. So the likes of Eric Dyer and players like that will be put out to Pastors New, because he won't stand for that. So, but as you say, Jack, look, a lot of positives, a bit disappointed how it ended, but look, it is pre-season. There's no points on offer. Sundays when the hard work begins. and we'll see a totally different team on Sunday. And the likes of Madison and all them will be back, Romero. So we should look at. But Venom, our new goalkeeper, as I'm calling him, again impressed me. Again, some of his saves were brilliant tonight. So look at the positives in that way.
Maybe that's one of the last things we could touch on, actually. Vicario, he conceded a lot of goals, Jacob, but I thought he was more busy than he ever has been in previous games. You remember the goalkeepers union. Vicario, did he impress you at any stage? Still kind of confused on him, like what he could bring? Any new revelations on Vicario?
Yeah, absolutely. I think during the match, I talked about the fact that there was a couple question marks I still had in regards to how does he handle a shot from outside the box? Well, we saw that today, and he handled it pretty damn well. I thought I think he has a lot of upside, and he's still getting ingratiated into this squad. And let's face it, a goalkeeper can only be as good as the men in front of him. And when you have Dyer as your captain, no, don't worry, guys, I got this. I'm not trying to drive it back to Dyer now, but don't worry, y'all, I got this. Yeah, it's a problem. And think about it. I'm thinking like from a goalkeeper's perspective, I have Eric Dyer over here yelling and shouting. That's just going to put me in a bad mood the entire match. I mean, honestly, I would not be in the right headspace the entire match. You're just constantly hearing him yelling whenever he's the one giving away balls. He's the one letting balls in behind. He's the one not tracking runners behind him. I mean, it's just runners in front of him, runners behind him. It doesn't matter. It's a free for all. He's a damn water park. The way he lets everyone just run in, and I cannot stand it. I'm sorry. I know you're talking about Vicario, but damn it.
If you were a player, would you go over and clump him? I mean, seriously, if
it was nice to see him get more angry. It was nice to see him get more upset than we've seen Lloris do, because Lloris does a bit of the same thing where he just sort of like throws his arms up like this and kind of pouts. And it was nice to see Vicario just like throw his fist into his arms and just get really upset. And two, though, I would mention that when we have been I feel like we have been over analyzing a lot of his saves and everything this preseason, because everybody hated Galini. But if I recall, Galini had an amazing preseason. Like, he had some crack saves against Chelsea, or I forget which team that he played against, for like nearly 90 minutes. But he had a great game and like was making huge saves to keep us in one of the preseason games that we had played. And in the actual season, everybody was talking about how poor he looked. So I don't know. I think we could be reading into Vicario far too quickly. And like I said before, like goalkeepers like David De Gea and plenty of other top Premier League keepers over their time did not have actually some of the best kind of debut seasons for their club. It actually took them a bit of time to really start solidifying themselves and looking more confident. So I think Vicario actually had more to do with than he's had in other games, and I thought he did quite well with some of the moments. I still am not really over the moon though, like with him. Like, it's not like I've been like jumping out of my seat thinking like, wow, what a crack save or anything. But I'm also, like I said, just still gonna take a lot of it with a pinch of salt with this guy.
Well, the thing is he's shown this preseason he's got really good reflexes. He's got really good instincts. Now the questions have been positionally, mentality, but I thought versus Shakhtar he did a good job positionally. And so each preseason match that I've seen Vicario, he's checked off something that I've wanted to see. And today was another example of that. It was, how does he handle a shot from distance? Because he hasn't really been tested from distance, so I didn't really know. I admittedly didn't watch Empoli, so I'm curious to see these things. And I'm not worried like I feel like a lot of people are about him. I feel like he's got enough talent there that we could definitely get a tune out of him. Is he the answer going forward? I don't know. I know there was a super chat that recently you brought up about David Raya going to Brentford. Personally, I hope Brentford get relegated now, because they want to haggle us for 40 mil, but then they sell them for half the price to the Gooners. That don't make no sense to me. That sounds like there's some Gooner fans, and now I want them to get relegated.
Yeah, I agree with that. Where's that sort of stubbornness? How'd that all of a sudden go out the door? Because they were saying they wouldn't settle for anything less than I think it was something around 40 million. And spot on about that. Absolutely.
Look, for me, very quickly on the goalkeeper, it's lovely to see a goalkeeper just come out and bollock the defenders. It's great to see. It's what we needed. We need somebody out there with a bit of, will tell the defenders, you have mucked up. And Eric Dyer will probably look around going, what? What's he? What, me? Me? No, I've got this. I have got this. I am the name man. Me and Jacob are going to be doing this
Everybody,
all season now.
everybody, just back away.
Yeah,
I got this.
and it's
That's like,
great. And that he's for me, Philip Brady's been saying to me, we've seen him, and he saves a lot with his feet, a bit like Pat Jennings used to do back in the day. And if he's half the goalkeeper like Pat Jennings was, I think we've got a gem in our hands.
Mm.
And I think, look, Eric Torsvet had not a very good first season, and he was a good keeper for us. Hugo didn't have a great first season. He turned out to be, very reliable for us, apart from the last couple of seasons. But I think this kid is special. He is something special. And if the Italians rave about him, so I think we're very lucky. I think this kid's going to be something special for the future, and we're very lucky to get him at that age that he's going to mature with us as we go on.
You look at the goals that he has conceded, though. When you think about it, a lot of them have been from just pretty obvious defensive errors, like from either Pedro Porro, Sanchez in the West Ham game, Dyer in this game, Davies in the other games. Like they've been pretty like one-on-one, close, right near him. Pretty much right. Like they've been pretty. I wouldn't say it's been moments that been goals conceded because of his own fault. Like he's made a pass that then ended up leading to a chance or anything like that. Most of them have been pretty like standard goals, like almost one-on-ones or pretty good chances that you would expect the striker to score, or even also too, even if you didn't expect the team to score, it was because of a defensive error that it was made easier for them. So I don't know, like it's like I said, I've yet to really have a moment with Vicario where I've really started to question him, but I've also haven't had any moments yet where I've really gotten out of my seat with him. But what I can tell is that he's going to be doing what Hugo Lloris wasn't doing last season, which is actually being able to play out from the back, being able to be more of a sweeper keeper. And also, too, I think just being able to make more basic, simple saves that Hugo just wasn't making last season. I think Hugo really was letting us down in a lot of big games with really easy saves that should have been made that ended up leading to goals conceded. I look at Aston Villa with some of those shots from distance. You look at Man City, you look at North London derbies that he cost us. So I'm actually thinking Vicario, when you compare him to Hugo's last season, is going to do quite fine, and probably not even too much to read into it. But I do have your channels ready to plug, but I do maybe want to get some final thoughts, anything that you guys maybe did want to say that probably didn't get to let you guys say. So go back to you, Jacob, then we'll go to you, Dermatron. Anything that maybe you wanted to touch on though, Jacob, before start wrapping things up?
I'm afraid whatever direction I head in, all roads are going to lead back to the forehead of Eric Dyer. And I just don't want to drive down this road anymore. But I will say, on a positive note, to leave, because some people, if you tune into United Spurs of America, where I'm at, you'll see that I'd like to try and keep the vibes immaculate. I don't do watch-alongs because I get very heated and passionate in the moment, and I say things out of passion and emotion. So if anyone got offended by what I said throughout this broadcast, I do apologize. But I love my team, and whenever I'm watching my squad, I get very animated. So that's just the reality of the situation. But when it comes to some positives, I thought this was a good test for Maynard Solomon to actually play against some quality side, and let's see. Right, it wasn't the second half, or it wasn't West Ham's B team, it wasn't the Singapore people or Shakhtar. It was Barcelona, and that guy out there on the left, what was his name, Candy or whatever, number 3,
Yamal, yeah.
Yamal.
No, Balde, the left back. Yeah,
Balde, yeah, Balde. He was giving him a hell of a time. He was actually giving him a hell of a time, but I thought he worked through that well. He still got in behind that guy several times. So Solomon showed me a lot of promise. I thought Richarlison was all right. His passing was better than I've seen it. In the Conte system, anytime his first touch was a lot like Giovanni's Lo Celso's first touch today. He touches it and it goes 6 yards ahead of him, and he's got to play catch up, kind of like what Reguilon did. I know I'm trying to keep this positive, but they're Dyer and Lo Celso are just like running through my brain. But I thought Solomon showed a couple good things. I thought Basuma showed a lot of good things. Sanchez, where the hell's that guy been? And then Reguilon, porous defensively. Pedro Porro got beat on that first goal. Same problems as we know, but again, it's a friendly. I'm trying to take it with a grain of salt. We got to see a lot of different players. We saw Spence. I thought he was unimpressive. Didn't show any reason why he should have ever, why I should have picked him for my sleeper bench spot of the year. I was like, Jed Spence might impress Ainge because he's getting a fresh start and he could get on the bench, is kind of where I was going. And I think he showed today that, these managers do know better than me, and I do trust them with their decision. They see this guy day in, day out. They see his attitude day in, day out, and they'll know if he can bring some. And you know what? I saw what I wanted to see from him, which was a chance, and he got it. He didn't do anything with it. So I'm a little disappointed there. But Basuma, Skip, very nice. I thought they were very good. Lo Celso, I thought, was not good. I think maybe playing with the likes of better players makes him look better than he actually is. Our first goal, though, he did do a good job of playing out. He dropped back in between the two center backs, received the ball, played under the press, helped us get it to Perisic, and Perisic got to not Solomon, to Reguilon, and then the rest of that's history, obviously, as we saw in the replay. So there are some positives, definitely are some positives. But Jesus, when you end a game with 3 goals in the last 10 minutes, you really got to say, let me remember the good times, I guess. Let me
Yeah,
think
no,
about the good.
that's
I
how
don't
I
know.
feel. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and then you have to remind yourself of how great of a time you were having before those goals were conceded, and you have to take yourself back to that mindset. And I could see why people like yourself, Jacob, just sort of feel like, why was my whole match experience sort of ruined by that last sort of 10 or 15 minutes? And I think when you wake up the next day, you'll feel like, yeah, that actually was a pretty great game. But I think anybody can understand, when you're having such a great time watching Spurs play like that, to then see it just undone in such a dramatic fashion and such a pretty amazing fashion, and how, easy it was to just undo it. It just says a lot, and it just sort of shows the same problems from last season. But I actually sort of think that this is, like maybe MJ has put in here, this result is perfect for Ange because it confirms a lot of different things. What do you think it confirms to Ange there, Dermot? Like, does it confirm certain players probably not good enough? Maybe certain players are good enough. Also, that the style of play is starting to take some hold, because the way we're breaking down Barcelona definitely was impressive.
Yeah, it was, and there's a hell of a lot of positives to take out of it. It proves him his philosophy is starting to come through. Players are taking it on board. Players are starting to play his way. But it also proves Eric Dyer, Reguilon, Davin Sanchez. I'm sorry, I know he might have had a good game today, but he will have a bad one in the future. These people cannot defend. So I think he's learned now who he can trust, who he can't trust,
Hmm.
and he can't trust them players. And look, for me, I agree with 3 of you. Look, you try to be positive, but it does leave a very sour taste in your mouth the way we just threw that game away. And Eric Dyer, he was at fault for 2 of them, not doing his job, not doing a simple defensive of sticking your leg out
Yeah,
or following your man and
switching off at the end.
switching
Yeah.
off. If he's doing that in the preseason friendly, what's he going to do in the Premier League? We're just going to be cut to shreds. So I think a decision has to be made now, especially with Ange, over the next week or the rest of this week. What plan does Eric Dyer have in his future? And the answer to that is never see him in a Spurs shirt again.
Yeah.
Put him in the under
And
21s, or put him as a car park attendant, and just show him where the cars can be parked, because
captaining
that's
the
all he's
team
good
as
for.
well.
Yeah,
Captaining the time.
and
Embarrassing.
also make him Doris the Tea Lady's assistant. That's all he's good for. I never want to see him in Spurs shirt again. And I'm glad David's in here tonight, because I think Dave would have blew his blood pressure or his gasket if he actually saw Eric Dyer. So wherever you are, Dave, Eric Dyer does not exist. He didn't play. It was his twin brother Fred, and Jacob is calming down, I think, in the corner. But as
um,
Jacob would say, I've got this.
and Dermatron, give us a plug for your channel. I put it in a few times now.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And thank you for having me on, Jack. I've really enjoyed this. I apologize for being late. Technology isn't my greatest suit
Well, I
sometimes.
had a nightmare today too, Dermot. So we got there eventually.
Yeah, we got there eventually. Yeah, if you like what I had to say, I'm over at THFC till I die with me and the Godfather himself, Mr. Philip Brady, where we've got Newsbeat every day at 4. We've got watch-alongs, we've got pre-match, post-match. Starting next Monday, we have a Premier League review of the Premier League season, me, Philip, and Mia, where we'll go over the whole Premier League season, and we get to pick our Premier League team of the weekend. And also this Thursday, hopefully you or Dave can come on, Jack. We're doing a Premier League preview. The
Nice.
invites there for you as well, Jacob, as well. If you're free, you're more than welcome to come on. and we're going to talk about the Premier League season, who's going to win it, who's going to get into Champions League, Europe, who's going to be relegated, and we're going to all take our predictions, and then at the end of the season, whoever's right, we're going to say who's winning the top of the league. So, yeah, come over there. It's a bit of fun. We take our football seriously, but we like to do it with a laugh as well. So please get over to
Well done,
THFC
Dermot.
till I die.
Great plug. Thanks for helping me out today as well,
No
Dermot. I
problem,
do
mate. Really
appreciate you.
enjoyed it.
And thank you for helping me out today, Jacob. I know like it's outside your comfort zone coming on to the watch alongs, and it certainly is not easy. And you've been very patient today as well, kind of with my own little mishaps technology wise. But appreciate you, my friend. Tell us about United Spurs of America. What can they find over there?
Of course. Well, thank you for having me, Jack. It was a pleasure to do officially my first watch along. As you can see, I'm a madman when it comes to when it's that 90 minutes. I'm not myself. I become a savage. It's I'm People have always said this about me, growing up in competitive sports, like, man, as soon as that game starts, you're different. You're not Jacob. You're not the huggable nice guy. You look like a ferocious angry man, and typically that's how I operate. It helps fuel my fire, and I tried to keep it cool, and I thought I did for the most part about Eric Dyer there until the last 10 minutes. I really
He
fell off the
tested you.
wagon. He he's testing my resolve, man. And you know, United Spurs of America. I know I'm supposed to be plugging my show, and I'm got, like I said, all roads lead back to that big forehead, and I just can't help it. But yeah, so I'll be cool by the time I do a show. I might do one later than usual on the channel today. I might be late for America, very late, like early in the morning for UK. I probably do, but for anyone in Australia, it'll probably be around lunchtime for you. So,
Yeah.
I'll be cooled off by then. I'll be laughing and I'll be doing more of the everybody. I got this. I'll be doing more of that.
I am sorry. That for me is going to be the whole season. That for me, that bit for me is going to be there for the whole season. Every time I see Jacob now, it's going to be, I'm going to expect that's it.
It definitely was the moment of this watch along for sure.
It was.
No,
It really was.
no, everyone.
Everybody,
Don't worry.
everybody do thank Jacob and Dermot for helping me out as well, because been trying our best to just put up these watch alongs. We're busy over here. We're trying our best to sort of switch gears as well, kind of technology wise, to some new platforms and kind of streaming stuff and everything. And Dave's gotten a bunch of new gear. He's also just coming back from spending some time with some family. He should be back tomorrow if I'm not mistaken. So it'd be good to have him back. But everybody, do appreciate you kind of just sticking with us during this time period. We're going to be back for the Brentford game, all the big festivities. Dave will be back doing some season predictions, all that good stuff. But really do appreciate you for tuning in and staying patient with us throughout this. And also, again, thanks to Jacob and Dermot for helping me out today, because if it wasn't for them, this watch along probably would not have been able to happen today. So they definitely did, put in a good effort, and as well as just made this thing possible. But big up to you, everybody. Smash the like button, please, on the way out. We'll be seeing you. Come on, you Spurs. In the big Ange we trust.
And I got this. I got this.